Did his book
battleships on
thing?
legs?
Grave is working with me on his own mech, the Bismarck.
Jericho is making his own mech. It's gonna be the
Nice.
Bismarck.
And
Call sign
I
Kaiser.
wanted to make a spook mech a spook mech based off the USS Iowa.
You could just figure out what actual history it's got. Like
Hey,
the
Saul. Hey, Ken.
Bismarck,
How you doing?
the Bismarck did not do much, but what
Doing
it
alright, I've
did,
been around
it
for a bit.
did.
It sunk the Hey, the Bismarck sunk the pride of the British fleet. Okay, with one shell.
It sunk. It was one sum. It sunk a pre-World War I dreadnought and then proceeded to get dabbed on by a bunch of biplanes.
That's not exactly impressive.
Yeah, didn't
The
it take
Bismarck
down like
didn't
the
get
hood,
dabbed
which
on.
was outdated at that point?
Yeah, the hood was at the time the flagship of the British Navy, though it was an incredibly outdated World War I era dreadnought, which are
Yeah.
known
It was
as
the flagship
Iron
because it was
Yeah.
popular and people remembered it and liked it. It wasn't.
It was
was
the
the
flagship
flagship because
for
it was
the
good.
flagship for parades, not the flagship for
What?
war.
Yeah.
But it still was
The
flagship.
Remember,
Bismarck
the
took it
Bismarck
down
beat
in a single
not only their
quote-unquote
newest
shot,
ship, but
which
also their most famous.
Okay.
Remember,
The only
two
reason-
ships
the
that
only reason why
sorted
the Bismarck-
after it.
If the Bismarck sunk the Prince of Wales when they were engaged, the Bismarck would have survived. Plain and simple. The only reason why
it wouldn't have.
No, the only reason why they found the Bismarck was because the Prince of Wales survived.
No, the only reason they found it was because it had been damaged so badly that it was leaking a trail of oil into the ocean that was visible from fucking space.
Yeah.
And it couldn't
lucky
turn.
shot.
And it could not turn.
It couldn't turn
The
because
Germans
of
were
battle
trying to
damage
get it
during
into the
second
open Atlantic
engagement.
because it would be near impossible to track if it actually got out there, but by the time they got it close, it was already wounded so heavily that it was essentially leaving a massive trail saying, "Hey, here I am, come kill me."
Yeah.
And
also,
that's
if your
what the
ship can
Allies
only
did
turn,
using carrier tactics.
and if your ship can also only turn left, it does reduce a lot of your options to be able to.
Yeah,
maneuver.
it does really reduce your options for
Okay.
going
The Bismarck
places.
could only turn left after torpedoes hit it. Because I did research on this for a school paper.
Okay, can we not go into World War II history about battleships again?
Yeah, no,
The
the
Bismarck-
I mean,
Bismarck
most
a lot of
battleships
damage,
are
and it wasn't
unstoppable
about
if
to
you
sink.
simply don't sink them. So I don't know what
Yeah.
your argument is trying to prove.
Like, yeah, sure, it's unstoppable, but hey, so was the first tank, and then it got stuck in a trench.
He didn't get stuck in a trench. He got stuck in a quagmire. That's a different thing. And then his
Okay,
engine exploded because they
Well-
were unreliable.
yeah.
I mean, World War One
But still,
tanks
you
were
get
a joke.
you get the point I'm trying to make.
I mean,
I do. I'm just
Everything is
being-
unstoppable until it's
Just thinking.
stopped.
Yeah, everything's unstoppable until its weaknesses are found.
Yeah.
No, not even weaknesses are found until it's just stopped. Because, like, you could kill something without figuring out its weakness.
True.
Yeah, and the only reason Bismarck actually really got crippled was due to lucky shot. Actually, one of its main damages to its engine was because of a lucky miss that detonated below sea level.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it said its fuel tanks were damaged, not its
Xana,
engine.
Its
Wikipedia
rudder
is not
control
a reliable
got
source.
damaged
Because anyone can
because
edit
of,
it.
of a shell that exploded below sea level. It damaged its engines. Its
I
You
will
know what
say-
shells usually
rudders.
explode below sea level? Torpedoes.
I will say, the Bismarck was, for its time, a very impressive weapon of war. But the major failing of it was that it was alone. It
Yeah.
did not have nearly, even if it had won that fight without taking a single single hit, it still would have been taken down. It still could have been taken down by a carrier group because the Bismarck had woefully poor anti-air defenses and no supporting fleet.
They didn't really have carriers at that point, though.
No,
The Germans
no,
never
there
had
weren't.
They were
carriers.
still battleship focused. It's towards the
Hold
end
on,
There
of
were
the
some
war.
airship.
What type
there
of-
was some
what
carriers
type
being
of
developed.
ship- What type of ship was the Prince of Wales?
Not a carrier.
It was a
No,
carrier.
No.
The
Was it
Germans
Prince
did
of
not
Wales
invest into carrier
heavy
tactics
cruiser.
because they believed that well, for one, they didn't have the resources to build any carriers. Two, they couldn't without the British bombing it into oblivion. And three, they were more focused on the land campaign. The US, however, and Britain, relying heavily on naval trade and naval vessels for transport and their major cutting off of supplies and transporting supplies to and from allied locations, relied rather heavily on carrier groups and carrier tactics because carriers are an incredibly effective force multiplication tool and give you a massive amount of range for a very comparatively small cost of resources.
Okay.
Yes.
I found.
And we've got the sister ship, the Tirpitz, which did
Yes.
get bombed the fuck by the Royal Navy.
Yes,
Royal Air Force,
because the British got
and
wind
it
that the Germans were trying to
still
build another
survived.
Bismarck,
Okay.
and then decided,
I-
fuck that,
I
that thing is
found-
not getting out of the dock.
I
Yep.
found an article called
Like
from
the
the Legion
two
magazine.
Bismarck ships took so much
I found
abuse.
an article from
Mhm.
Canada's military, the Legion, Canada's military history magazine, and give me one moment. I gotta find it back again. The Bismarck did not have things wrong. 3 shells from the Prince of Wales struck the German giant. One penetrated her forecast at the waterline. This contaminated some of the ship's fuel supply and flooded several forward compartments, giving her a list to port and a slight bow trim. It also increased the pressure on her internal structure at high speed.
Yeah.
She was forced. The shell that damage forced the Bismarck to abandon the breakout, and her raiding season to head back to port to repair.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah.
That is a crippling wound for a ship like that.
Yes.
So it makes
Mhm.
sense to return to port and get it fixed.
She got crippled, but she didn't get sunk. The
No.
only
Yeah.
the Royal Navy did not sink the Bismarck. The crew did because they're like, okay, we stay here,
Because they
we'll
refused
die.
to
They
allow it to
capture the
fall into
Bismarck,
enemy hands.
or we scuttle the ship so they can't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys don't
The
remember what happened at the end of the Bismarck, right? The British task force tracked it down and then proceeded to bomb the absolute heck out of it for several hours.
So
Yes,
this
but
is the
that
next part.
didn't sink it. The crew, it was a
Scuttle.
combination of all these things. The bombing from the British, assaults,
bombing was
and
killing the
stress from
crew,
everything,
but it
and the
wasn't
scuttling of
sinking the ship.
and the crew scuttling it all sunk the Bismarck. No single
okay,
thing did it
If
because
the,
Yeah.
if the crew of the
because
ship is
that's not how
dead, I'm
history
gonna
is.
count that as a win because I have
The
reduced
crew of
your
the ship
ship
didn't die.
to
The crew
a
of the Bismarck
hunk of
didn't
metal.
die.
There's actually
were-
still
A lot of them
Many
did,
of
though.
the Bismarck's crew actually survived and were picked up by the British as prisoners of war.
Of the 2,000 crew, 114 survived.
That's a pretty low number.
That's a pretty
Which,
low
for
number.
naval
listen to this,
engagements
listen to
at the
this.
time, that is actually a rather high survival time
Guys,
ratio.
listen to this.
okay. Can we?
On May in the early of May 25th was repairs completed, fuel transferred to other tanks, and under the shelter at night. The Bismarck and the Prince Eugene parted ways and gave the British the slip.
Eugen.
By sunrise on May 25th,
Eugen.
the German raiders were nowhere in sight. So it had repairs done apparently.
Yeah, they did have some. I mean, yeah, ships are capable of repairing themselves in the sea so that they
Zana.
don't
Yeah.
have to go
She
back
wasn't
every
trying-
time.
Guys-
You do
No,
know
it was
there's a difference
slapdash
between field
repairs.
repairs and actual repairs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we?
There's a difference
drop
between
this?
throwing a tarp over a hole in the roof and rebuilding the roof.
She got her repairs done according to the article in the French port of Saint Nazaire in its great dry dock.
Guys,
According to the article, that's
we
what she got
will
her
be.
repairs done.
we'll be
Whatever,
arguing
it
about
doesn't
this
matter.
for
The Bismarck
hours.
died and it got its ass handed to it. Moving on.
Yes. Let's just
I'm
drop
still gonna
this.
make a
We
mech
have
that's
a
gonna be
session.
tanky as fuck.
That's completely fine.
Yeah. No.
The
just-
Bismarck was incredibly tanky, and
Yep.
naming a mech that's incredibly tanky after the Bismarck fits because
We're,
dreadnoughts.
we're talking about like what size it would be right now. I'm thinking size 4.
I mean-
size 4, size 5.
The thing is that size 3 is still pretty massive.
So wait, what
Size
class
3
of
is
battleship
pretty
was the
big, I
USS
will
Nevada?
admit.
Like,
But
Pardon, what?
size 4
let's stop
usually
talking
fits,
about Navy ships, please.
class. Size 4 seems to fit more with what you're going for.
Yeah. Size 4 is more fitting for what you're thinking of, like a very big tanky mech that carries big firepower.
Yeah.
I mean, size 3 is still pretty massive.
Let's
Well,
just-
yes, but
yes,
it's
but-
not exactly that im size 3 is very large, yes, but but there's size 3, which is a multi-story building, and then there's size 4, which is, have you guys ever seen like a warehouse?
Yeah?
Like one of those giant fuckers
Yeah.
that yeah. Imagine that if it was walking around on legs. That's a size 4.
So that would actually be pretty good for what you're
So-
thinking of, Grave.
If
Yeah.
we were to make an actual battleship and then just stick legs on it, that would be size 4.
Pretty much,
Basically,
yeah. Size 4 is the land. Size 4 to 5 is the land crawler. What we use as
would
the motor
honestly-
base.
I
If you
wasn't
made
quite
it
going for
fantastic
land
with-
crawler.
I mean,
you get what
walking
we
tank.
mean.
Like,
It's the same
Let me-
size. It's not a land crawler, but walking tank, walking battleship, same difference.
The land crawler is its own class of thing.
yeah.
Giant terrestrial behemoth of metal. There you go.
Yeah. The Explorer 1, aka your guys' vehicle,
Yeah, the
that
mammoth
is basically a transport for you and your mechs.
Let
If
me-
you played Phantom Division, you know
Let me
exactly
just
what it is.
expose myself for a moment here.
Hmm?
Under a lane, of course.
Weeb.
The fucking
Weeb.
course.
Can't help it. I love it.
Weeb.
All
You're a
right.
fucking weeb. You're a fucking weeb.
All right. So,
Oh, we should
I'll-
probably try and start the session,
yes,
shouldn't we?
I will be starting us off with the view from space, as the entire fleet
Sweet.
of the entire 15th Expeditionary Fleet is moving entirely away from over the city, as there are standard protocols to be followed in case of an NHP cascade.
What if we drop one of the rods of God on him?
Eden
think
just looks to
survive.
Eden just looks over to you and just says, "Do you want to see what happens when a cascading reality-rending entity it gets a hold of that kind of nuclear material?"
Rods of God
You
don't
do
have
not want
nuclear
to know that my
material.
answer to that is yes.
But more simply, I think we should also account for the fact
But
of
yes.
like maybe we don't want to further aggravate the angry anomaly.
There are protocols that need to be followed.
We've
He
got to
needs
slap
to be
some
reshackled.
sense into him somehow.
He needs to be
I have an
reshackled, or
idea.
it'll get worse.
Have you considered using the power of friendship? Because I'm putting money on that.
That's what I'm working on that down in the engineering. Okay, I'm working on it.
As
I
this
have
is
an
happening, your
idea.
guys,
What's
I'm
the power
literally
of
gonna
friendship and
slap the
engineering?
friendship symbol on him.
guys. Soul's trying to say something. Go on, Soul.
What if, hear me out, I do the same thing that I did with our space battle, get in my mech, in the rail cannon, and we launch me down onto him.
Only if you're equipped with my Schizo Stick Physical Discount Edition, so you can hit him on the way down.
That sounds like a great idea. You want to make a flash clone before you do that for no reason at all?
So I'm gonna let everyone know the mech will be just sitting at the back, just taking notes.
So as you guys are all discussing this, you guys' mechs are being outfitted with one magazine of special ammunition that is specifically designed to help stun cascading NHPs.
Woo! Stun ammo.
It is
Enjoy the anti-AI. Enjoy the anti-AI rounds.
they are very special rounds, and they are very difficult to make, primarily because each round has to be specially made for the specific NHP that is being targeted. and that
So you
takes
know.
a while to
This
develop.
is gonna be really terrible if we miss.
So don't miss.
It's one magazine. Each of you get one magazine for one weapon that you guys have. That is ranged.
I'm going to call my Oracle LMG.
All right.
All I've got are missiles.
You can load a special payload into the missiles. There you
Yeah.
What?
It,
Uno momento?
what?
I think my NHP is also unshackled.
go. No,
You were shackling it at the end of last session.
Yeah, you were shackling
Yeah,
at the end of
you
last
got out.
session.
You
Just
were shackling.
Make
it last
sure
session,
you
so
note that. Make sure
fine.
with I don't understand why it's not wanting to be reshackled with you.
Yeah, it should
CompCon
be
should be
reshackled
doing
if you
that,
reset.
but it's weird.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
gonna
reason I
end the
prefer
combat
roll 20.
mode, main combat, start rest.
So your guys after your guys' mechs are refitted, basically you guys get all your stuff back plus that one magazine of special ammunition. Use it as you see fit. You guys are brought to one of the drop ships, as Eden basically states that the fleet can't be over the city right now, as there is a fairly significant chance that Vector can affect that a cascading Vector could probably affect things in space if he wanted to. So
So we don't let him affect things in space.
Yeah.
basically, Eden has also assured that she'll be fine for the most part, as her current vessel, aka her body, has been disconnected from her primary casket. So she should be fine for the most part.
So
It's
you won't have two NHPs cascade.
Yeah, you won't have the seasoned military commander Eden going crazy down there.
Yeah.
Soul, you
luck.
wanting to say something? Here's my
There you
plan.
go.
Get my
Activate
lads.
the strike. Get blasted out of the railgun and mock Jesus. Use the impact lance as a means of reducing resistance and downdraft, as well as a means of impact to produce as much kinetic force as possible. I mean, at that point, why not just go with Graves' plan and drop a rod from God on him without, wasting a mech?
Because I'm bigger.
And I'm
No.
not talking one of the nuclear rods. I'm just talking one of the rods.
Soul, you remember that the rods from God are about a mile long, right?
Yes, but
That's
they're
a
tungsten.
depleted uranium tipped tungsten spike a mile long hitting the ground at terminal velocity. That's enough force to shatter most of a continent.
Yeah.
It makes for one hell of a doorbell.
You think you can hit harder than that?
Even though,
No,
yes,
but
a
just as
railgun
hard
does
with
shoot.
less hitting as
So,
hard, but with less geophysical impact.
So I got an extra set of arms on my neck now.
Nice.
So you want to hit? Okay, so you don't want to do the planetary destruction. I mean, hey, if you want to try, it might be better to do some test shots with the guns from a ship or something. Just
I mean,
just,
we've
Eden
seen
is
it
going
work.
to
I mean, we did
immediately
it already before.
call off the plan, just saying, "Yeah, no, we're not trying that."
no, I say
I
let
did
them
it
try.
before. It worked.
I say let them try if they wanna.
I mean,
if
that
they
was
wanna. I will say. You might want to take a look at scans of the city before you do that, because
I was
things are going
actually
a little
about
weird
to
in
go
it.
into that, as the dropship is being loaded up with your guys' mechs, equipment, and a full platoon of the Eden Guard with their own mechs. As well, if Eden's going down there, they're going down there, and they're coming with heavy firepower.
Wait, those guys are coming with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
Again, The spook is making sure to put extra notebooks in her bag before she gets into her mech because she has a lot of. She's gonna be taking a lot of notes.
So, for reference for specifically the spook, the Eden Guard are a special regiment of shipboard security that are basically charged with protecting Commander Eden. She doesn't particularly
Ah.
like having a protection detail, as she very much knows that she can take care of herself. But it's mostly Union protocol, and she does find them useful as well. Mostly as
Gophers.
Cannon fodder.
not cannon fodder, but mostly useful as security for prisoners of war. As well, the party has taken quite a few,
Yeah.
and the Eden Guard is
Y'all
pretty
take
good
prisoners? The spook is just
making sure.
like the spook is just like y'all take prisoners.
No.
I mean, obviously.
I mean, when
You
they
don't
take
play
prisoners when they
this.
can.
Well, you know.
I mean, oh yeah, you haven't met the archivist yet.
The spook is like I didn't think y'all had a bleeding heart.
So,
Oh, how I wish Vecna was up there.
so,
Because I can't say anything. Because
something
Vecna's
right now.
still down on the
as-
planet.
so as you
So I
guys
can't
are
smack you upside the head.
so as you guys are loading up, Eden is going to share with everyone scans of the city, and the scans show the city is surrounded by a massive oily like dome with
A
oil
giant
and water.
bubble, essentially. Like something made of soap and film. Shimmering and warping as the image of the city and scans of it seem to stretch on for miles in whatever direction the shot is taken from.
We might be looking at him
Whatever's
warping the
happening,
entire city's geometry. We
the
can't
city
get much.
itself seems to be. Whatever's happening seems to have been constrained and contained to the city. Possibly intentionally, possibly not, but it might be better to take it slow when entering the field of warped and broken reality.
So do we, real quick, is there a way to pull him, like get him out of the city?
Unfortunately, we have to go into the city to pull him out.
It's due to the warping, stretching, and twisting nature of the inside of the bubble's topography and, well, mapping. It's entirely impossible to try and pinpoint where Vector could be inside the bubble. Any shots taken to try and draw him out could land directly on top of him, or they could land on the other side of the city.
I may have a way to draw him out. It may not be good for my health, but I do have a way.
I'm
You
not
want to
having
drop
any of you
directly
risk
on
your
him,
life.
don't you?
I'll not have you risk your life for something like that.
I would just say I could be
I
bait.
mean, we're kind of risking our lives already, anyways. Just trying to go get him.
I'm not letting you guys being bait is what I mean. I am okay with crazy plans if you are very much for it, but especially yours, Slicer, was
I
particularly
survived the
crazy.
first one.
The first time it happened, that was just because it was a space battle, something that can be easily calculated. This is something that is bending reality and warping space-time.
Hey,
And
he hates spooks. He knows there's going to be a spook if he. I just figured.
plus, there's no guarantee that anything inside the city can see out. There's no guarantee that any bait placed outside of the field would even register as existing to whatever's inside. You could sit out there for years and have possibly no chance of ever being noticed.
Yeah. there. So as Eden is going over mostly the broad strokes of the plants that there is, primarily to get inside the dome, locate where Vector is currently located, secure. Okay, Vector.
Yeah.
Locate and secure Vector, bring him back to heaven, and make sure and be able to reshackle him before returning him to Heaven's Gate. There is no there. Eden does emphasize that inside this bubble there will be warping reality, unknown things that could happen, and in all likelihood there could be rips in reality that could lead to other dimensions, could let things in, could pull things in. She doesn't know.
This
Be
That's-
raises
prepared
their
for
hands. Like,
anything,
are we getting
everything, and
hazard pay?
nothing all at the same time.
I'd be like, are we getting hazard pay for this?
Yes.
You're
always
not
get
getting
hazard
paid,
pay.
period.
Well, for one, you're
Okay.
Lancers.
We don't get paid.
You don't get paid.
You're Lancers of the Union military. You do get benefits. You will be getting hazard benefits for this. Primarily
Okay.
primarily
I-
full
I-
and primarily non-flash cloned backups.
I do have to ask as another side thing. Will this count as service-related injuries if we get our butts kicked?
Yes.
If you survive and get out, probably. Yeah.
Fucking
Yes,
damn
if
well
you
better be.
survive if you get survive and we complete the mission, yes.
This better be 100% fucking disability.
300%
I will
disability
say-
actually.
I will say, there's no guarantee that if you die, your consciousness will transfer over to a flash clone.
There is an incentive to not
Yeah.
die. Also, because
I
like
mean,
any memories since your
getting
previous
ripped
update are
apart-
going to be gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, upside, yeah, you don't have the traumatic memory of literally feeling yourself die, and you'd be, one of the few people who could actually say, people are like, hey, die isn't that bad, and Stephanie could be like, yes, it is. Don't do suicide, it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
But that's probably incredibly traumatic.
Reacher
Or,
can
you know,
attest to
how
if
that.
you do
doing
die in there,
suicide.
you could come back with, if you do die in there, you could come back with intense mental trauma, psychosis, broken brain syndrome. You could be in constant pain for the rest of eternity, regardless of how many flash clones you go through. Or you could just not come back at all. So, don't die.
Don't die.
So
Now go get 'em, Tiger.
as you guys are fully loaded up,
Okay.
your mech
Load up, grunts!
your mech secured into the bay along with the
Dropship.
along with the 5 other Eden Guard mechs.
Yeah, they're gonna be fun.
Yeah. I actually have them statted out on ComCon. They're really fun.
Nice.
So the pilot of the dropship will make sure everyone's secured before you take off. Heading towards the city from the east, towards Oldfall. Outside of Oldfall, roughly 30 miles around the city, there is basically a giant Union security perimeter. They make sure that the sites where NHP's Cascade are thoroughly secured.
It's essentially just a wire fence with a soldier stationed every, 80 feet or so. It's not a great perimeter, just considering how, fast they had to set it up. But hey, it's better than nothing.
It's something until more permanent things are set up, and this is going to be a long-term containment.
I
Yep.
have a question.
Hmm.
How long do cascading mechs last before they fix? Do they fix themselves at any point?
No.
Cascading
give a brief-
NHPs are like Halo AIs when they
Cascading
go through
NHPs
rampancy.
are going into the process of unshackling. They're thinking too hard, and they're forgetting how to think like a normal person, and they're thinking
Yeah.
like something from not
They are
our
essentially
understanding of
thinking
reality.
themselves to death and thinking themselves into an eldritch abomination, essentially.
Yeah, less of the death and more of thinking themselves into oopsie daisies.
I
lack of
become
morality.
Cthulhu.
This may be popular on an unpopular idea. This is the spook actually saying this.
Oh, this would be fun.
How do I put this into terms that won't get me hit by the party?
You just see Eden like looking at you. You can't tell that she's actually staring at you because of the helmet, but you know for a fact she is glaring at you right now.
Spook, before you say something, stop and think for a second. If you're going to say something that might get the rest of the party to hate you, why are you going to say it? That is your brain telling you, don't say this, it's stupid.
Hey, it's just a suggestion. It's an option.
Is your
on the table
suggestion that we cut our losses and kill Vecna?
Well, no. I'm saying why don't we just contain him down there for pretty much eternity?
So yes, cut your losses and essentially kill him. Doom
That's
him to
even
an
harder
eternity of
than-
insanity.
Left him, he'd get off planet.
Yeah, also
mean,
that's
yeah.
even harder to do than like, killing him, because we're talking about right now where Vecna is being an entity where he treats the laws of physics as a libertarian treats the request of a hoa to mow his lawn because it attracts rats.
Hey. I never said it was a good idea, but I never said it was a good option. It's an option, though.
Not really.
You just hear a
Not
very deep
ideal.
sigh come from Eden as she looks over to Spook and just simply says, "A cascading NHP is not something we leave. It is to be contained as soon as possible or destroyed as soon as possible. We're talking a potential threat to all of reality if it is not shackled as soon as possible. Do you understand that?"
Long-term containment is not exactly an option here.
I mean,
The long-term containment is the shackling, if I can be blunt.
yeah.
Yes. But
Yes,
long-term
that is long-term
unshackled
I would
NHP
say
containment
shackling-
is impossible.
I'd say shackling is removing the problem.
Shackling is removing the problem. Containing
Hey,
an
like I said,
unshackled
like I said,
NHP for a
it's
long
a-
period of time is impossible.
Like I said, it's just an option on the table. It's
That is never an option on the table.
I'm the spook is playing the devil's advocate here.
Not even
Care we
devil's
trying to
advocate.
play at. This is standard Union protocol. You should know this.
I will remind you, part of the Union military creed is no soldier left behind,
Where
especially
are we,
for
the
Lancers.
Marines?
I'm a,
Marines,
Not
Am I
only
a fuck-
is
Union military, anyone really.
dude, the
You
etiquette-
don't leave a
am
soldier
I-
behind.
Wasn't I loaned to the Union?
No, you are a Union Black Ops specialist.
yes, the
You're
entire
still
fleet
part
is
of the Union military.
Is Union military
Everything
and
on the fleet.
scientist.
Okay.
This is an
Okay,
exploration
no, like-
fleet. This is sanctioned by the
Okay.
third
This is
column.
government sanctioned exploratory
okay.
colonization.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
We are Christopher Columbus in goddamn space.
I
Now
do
let's
not
go
want to
give
be associated with
smallpox
that
to the
person.
natives, god damn it.
I do not want to be associated with that personage. Thank you.
I will be associated with that personage. Let's hear
Just
it.
quiet and start and just continue writing in the notebook in one of the data pads you brought.
All right. PB, do you want to hand them off over to me?
Yep, you can go.
Alrighty. So, dropship enters atmosphere. Entering the atmosphere of the planet and approaching the city, the dropship skates over the sort of impromptu dead zone created around the city. The bubble, creating an almost perfect circle, has made it rather easy to block off and keep things away. But the city itself is still, as it was when you first saw it from scans, trapped inside a strange bubble. Surrounded, enveloped, gone, but still almost there. The film of the bubble warping and shimmering like oil on water and soap film as the city
God,
itself
that
stretches
hurts
on
to
into
look at.
eternity as you look through and into the city.
I knew you were going to
Eventually,
use
the-
the image, Victor. I just knew it.
Yeah?
Fucking
Does anyone have any
shimmerous.
sunglasses? I cannot keep staring at that thing. It's gonna give me a headache.
Eden just turns off the viewing screen.
Oh, thank you.
ETA to ETA Reality Shatter Breach in T minus 5, 4,
That
3,
doesn't sound good.
2, 1. The drop ship passes through the wall of this bubble before the soft hum of its engines turns into this violent stuttering cough, like its engines are trying to hack up a lung or something, before completely shutting down. All electronic systems inside the dropship shut down as if power had simply been pulled.
There is
But
a loud
instead
thunk.
of but instead of dropping out of the sky like a brick, like one would expect, the dropship seems to glide, slowly sailing to the ground like a bird would, almost like it was being carried down to the ground before gently setting down. The doors falling open like, well, like an open door, hitting the ground and sending up a small cloud of dust as the metal digs into soft, bright green grass.
Change image.
Stepping out of the dropship, you all see something strange. Almost like an entire city had been turned into one massive forest. Giant The skyscrapers that once towered into the sky have been warped. Their concrete walls now turned into stony bark. The windows and glass turning into glittering films of spider webs and dew. And the windows, the window sills and the entrances turned into the mouths of tunnels that spiderweb through these massive stone trees. Looking up, there's the sky, clear and blue, but just behind it, that shimmering film. Looking around for the edge that you had just passed through, it's gone. Behind you stretches the city for miles and miles and miles. Ahead of you stretches the city just as far, going on for miles in every direction before the horizon eventually meets and the film and the city touch. The only light that passes is tinted green, shining through the leaves, falling down onto the floor, onto the soft moss and grass like rain, almost. Communications with the outside world are, unfortunately, dead, as are most of your communication systems. Your mechs are still powered, though scanners are on the fritz of sorts. The one landmark, however, is a massive tree, easily as large as the city itself was originally, towering high into the sky, looking like it should have punched through the atmosphere with how tall it was. Its dark, almost abyssal black canopy speckled with tiny star-like lights as entire clouds of glittering birds made of gemstones darted in and out of the abyss of its branches. Only one way to go. Only one thing to go to. Time to get marching.
Eden will be one of the first to come out, followed by the white painted mechs that are part of her guard. Each one loaded out with different kit, but same general loadout.
Rice, you
As
fail to account. Sorry, keep going. I think we're done.
and she will be one of the first just look in awe at all this. What? This is something else. New flower instant all over again.
The spook is taking notes. Obviously, she has her next extra set of manifolds with a data pad and a stylus, just taking notes as she looks around.
Jericho kind of drunkenly stumbles up, like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna be. Oh, Alice, we're not in Kansas anymore."
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say that again. Look at this. It's beautiful.
Rice, you fail to account for one important thing.
Hmm.
I have a jump jet pack. I'm not marching anywhere.
Nice.
Oh
Well.
yeah,
Because yeah, Haran will see this just like parkour time.
Oh,
I would
God.
expect nothing
I
less.
think I may have something like that. I can. Oh, I have an EVA module.
You all do.
Yes, you all
No,
do.
All the mechs
Though
have
I
EVA modules built in.
keep in mind, EVA modules are for zero gravity and deep space maneuverability.
Yeah.
or low gravity. No, your mech has a propulsion system suitable for use in low or zero gravity and underwater environments.
This
In
is
those
This is
environments,
not
standard
low
gravity.
gravity. This is still planetary gravity. Gravity hasn't changed.
I'm parkouring just because there's a lot of buildings around and I'm using Titanfall logic.
Gonna turn into this. Oh, God.
Maybe, maybe not, Soul. We'll see. Depending on if you guys decide to use the power of friendship, which, I will give you a hint, is meta for this encounter. It may or it may not.
can I activate my retractable profile protocol?
And
What
what does
does
that
that do? Oh.
Your mech can retract its major systems to reduce its profile. While active, rolls to locate you receive a +1 difficulty while you're hidden. Range and attack attacks against you receive a +1 difficulty. You become slowed and can't make any attacks of any kind. You may take other actions, hide, activate, and so on. You may end this effect as a quick action.
I mean, you can, but I will warn you, the walk to the giant tree counts as one encounter. Anything done here won't carry over to the next one. So you would essentially be wasting it unless you decide to rest outside the tree. I will say there is no combat in the city itself. You can do this without entering combat at all, but
Wait,
you don't need
protocols can
to
only be activated
activate
once.
the what?
How many times can a protocol be activated?
Well, how many times does it say it can be activated?
Just
Protocols
it's
are
only
for the duration of a scene.
Yeah. Which,
Okay.
this is a scene, this is not.
Oh, it can
And
be activated as a
regardless,
free
you
action.
don't need
So-
to activate it. There's nothing that would be trying to detect you guys.
Okay. I'm
Well,
just curious. And I can use that as a free action at any time, so.
Eden looks
Alright.
up to the massive tree and just sighs. Well, I guess we know where we need to go. Alright, everyone, Let's move. She says as her mech hefts a heavy rifle in its hands and starts to make a march towards the tree.
Thankfully, the streets are plenty wide enough for your mechs to fit, even if some have to go single file or grouped up. The city itself is quiet, the only sound being an odd droning and the calls of animals. The only sign of life is the strange birds dancing in the glittering, almost glowing green canopy of leaves and branches above you. Calls of the animals and their sources are always just beyond sensor range. Either never there in the first place, simply a hallucination of some kind, or somehow keeping out of being spotted, as if they know where you are and are purposefully moving around you, watching. But of course, the city wasn't empty when this happened, and soon enough, you come across a ruined fortification of a Ravager squadron. Their camp is torn up. What once were improvised walls like barricades are now nothing, simple bushes and shrubbery. Grass grows from the metal plating of mechs and robots. Vines of ivy and kudzu sprouting out from underneath them, winding through their internals. The railgun wielding super units that the Ravagers had so recently unveiled were faring not much better. Small trees sprouting out of them, growing around their nuclear cores, seemingly still alive, but kept in some kind of limbo. And of course, the humans fared even worse. Fused or trapped inside the wood of trees, swallowed up by the ground. Hands, arms, legs, torsos, bodies sticking out as if the ground had opened up and then closed around them in a crushing, deathly embrace. Or even just horribly twisted and transformed. Not into animals, but something else. Some of them had become glass, completely translucent statues, frozen in the exact nanosecond they died. Others were bushes and flower plants pruned to the exact shape they had been. Some have become water, perfectly floating in place, as if suspended by a lack of gravity. Others were just gone. No blood, no disturbances in the dirt. Nothing but piles of clothes, cybernetics, and weaponry left behind.
Almost like the shadows of Hiroshima.
Yeah.
The ghosts.
Eden will actually take a moment to study some of the bodies and even the well super units, the archetypes. Wondering why specifically the archetypes were given such better treatment than everything else.
A simple scan shows that they are still very much alive. Their brain activity in a state similar to dreaming, as if they had been forcefully put into sleep mode.
Eden is going to is going to try something as she steps out of her mech for a moment and grabbing her and will grab her hacking knife and plug herself in just to get a look.
Into the dream of one of these soldiers.
Yes.
The spook will be just taking notes of what's going on and stuff. Very interested in the she is conducting research for future ideas, let's just say.
Well, Eden sees a dream. Simple as that. As incomprehensible and hard to follow as any other dream would be. From her side, it's as if she's looking at it through frosted glass and behind a wall, almost foot thick. The audio is muffled and warped, like listening to music underwater. And the visuals are twisted. Shapes stretch unnaturally and dance erratically. A dream seen through a mirror.
After seeing that, Eden will pull her knife out and will take a moment to think about this.
Cause I'm looking at you through the glass. How much time has passed? Nice.
Well, looks like there's still at least some of him left in there.
Glad I brought my secret weapon.
Maybe Vecna isn't fully lost, but this is just
So,
unheard of.
I want to ask Eden,
Yes?
what happens if you go unhinged?
Eden just stands there thinking. The last time I cascaded was 2,433 years ago. I never.
Is it
walked
the
that
same
path
for
again.
all? Is it the same for all NHPs? There's reality altering bullshit, or is it variant?
I don't know if this is a cascade. This is a full shackling, which is a bit more dramatic.
A cascade for every
Cascading
NHP is difficult to measure. There is no standard response. Each NHP is
cascading
different.
is close
So
to
if you
panic
went off the
attack.
wall, it could be completely different from what we're experiencing right now, or it could be the exact same.
I don't think it'd be
Everything's
the exact
possible.
same.
But remember, my actual body is Heaven's Gate. This is simply an avatar.
Eden, the spook will ask, is there any recordings or documentation of your last cascading?
Yes, but you need third com permissions to access that. And she just hops back into her mech.
Yeah, that's not an appropriate question, dude.
Yeah, you don't just ask someone, hey, do you have any footage of your panic attack?
I was gonna say, listen, you don't ask when was the last time you masturbated, or other such personal questions.
I mean, exactly.
Eden
Yeah, I'm not
climbs
answering
back
that.
into her mech and just takes a deep breath before continuing the march.
So, anything else anyone wants to do? I will say, a lot of the cybernetics, weapons, and equipment is possible to be salvaged. You can take certain pieces and mark others for possible collection if you succeed in stopping this cascade or unshackling.
I mean, Jericho's probably gonna salvage one of the rail guns.
Eden is going to mark the recovery of the cybernetics, mostly just for intel purposes.
You'll
Alright.
also notice that Jericho's making use extensively of a hollow pad that has weapon and mech designs on it. For
Nice.
those that want to try and look over his shoulder, he's clearly working on a project here.
Nice.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
One moment.
Eden does actually look over and asks, "What are you working on?"
Oh, just a little
Okay, I'm back.
history project.
You get the feeling that she's raising her eyebrows. History project?
Have you ever heard of a very old Earth ship known as the Bismarck?
Yes, I've studied cradle history before.
Yeah, well,
say-
basically, I'm thinking of making that on legs. Kind of.
Well, I mean,
You're
the
gonna.
first.
The German guy already had legs.
Eden just chuckles before saying, "Well, I mean, the first mechs were literally designed to be tanks, so I mean, it's not out the realm of possibility."
Oh no, look, it's not even going to be big as the biggest mech. But I'm like, okay, so what if we take this in principle and did that?
I mean,
Something that we can drop down that says, we mean business.
Oh.
Something that as soon as it turns to face you, you shit your pants because
Great,
you
if you
know
wanna
you
make
don't
an
stand
Imperial
a
Titan.
fucking chance.
basically
Or at least
same
something to that effect.
effect.
Okay, got it.
I
Shock and
see.
awe. Shock and awe.
I can see why you want to do that.
That and I've always wanted, and that and I'm an engineer. I make things.
I'm an engineer.
And this sounds like a
I solve
big
problems.
making things.
Not fancy
So,
problems like
you know,
everybody's love.
plus, Hellfire Industries is going to need a platform for which to launch its weapons on.
I'm
Wait,
pretty sure.
Are you telling me we're in the process of saving Vecna from himself and losing his insanity, and you're treating this as a corporate opportunity to build a product to sell to him?
No,
Opportunity and everything, my friend.
I'm building
Business.
this for me.
To sell to him?
No. I'm literally just building this for me because I can. I've been working on this for a while.
Okay.
And I figure if me and him are going to run Hellfire Industries, we should. I mean, who knows? It could help bring him back. If he's in there, you think he wouldn't take an opportunity to grift?
I mean, maybe, but also bringing the giant war machine in front of the likely hostile and incredibly twitchy NHP seems like a less than smart move.
Look, it's only blueprints at this point. I haven't actually manufactured it yet. I'm still figuring out some design inconsistencies, okay? I need it to be able to actually work. If I shoot the cannons and I knock out all its guidance systems, that's gonna do me no good, isn't it? I can't exactly shoot if I don't have fire control.
Eden just
manual
chuckles
pilot.
at hearing that.
This was an actual issue with the Bismarck when she first fired her volley. It knocked out her fucking anti-air fire control.
That's why you have manual overrides.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Is it a 5-man job? Maybe, but that's not an issue.
So yeah, Eden's going to is going to actually take some of the cybernetics, but it's also just going to mark them in general for recovery.
Alright, sounds good. So, is that everything? You're continuing on?
I believe so.
Alrighty.
If anyone else wanted to do something?
I'm good for now, currently, I think.
Are there
I
piles
should
of
be good.
coins randomly scattered around to loot?
Probably
No,
not.
But there are piles of what possibly used to be people.
Well, that's
Let's
not.
not go touching those.
I don't want that.
I mean,
Unless
you can-
unless I can use maybe people as a currency.
We're not the
No.
Congo Free
Okay.
State.
we're not.
We
in,
are moving
We're
along.
not in the Banana Republic. You can't just sell cocaine.
Wait,
You can't barter using bricks of cocaine, all right?
didn't
I
they
mean, you kinda
legalize
can.
cocaine somewhere in like the 20,000s?
Yes, because it was such a big import or export that they legalized it.
Anyways,
Anyways, moving on. So, moving on for a period of time that, if asked, none of you could ever reliably seem to measure. You eventually
It's-
come to the base of the tree.
So wait.
Probably.
Is our mech's internal clocks messing up?
Well,
I imagine it's more like
in a
time
way,
has passed, but it's hard for you to really even understand how much has passed.
Can I as we're walking,
not.
can I
No, no,
count?
no, no, no. I'll explain. I'll explain. It's different every single time you try to recall. While walking, it seems like it's only been a few seconds, but you look at your clock and it says it's been 2 years. And then you look back at the road and it feels like 3 hours. And after this, you'll look back and think, did that
Well,
take
I was
5
gonna, can I
minutes or
count?
2 days or 3 seconds
Can I
or
count? Can I count?
6?
60 seconds, mark in my journal. Count another 60 seconds, mark in my journal. And do it like
See,
that.
that's the thing. Due to your perception, it won't work. Because
That's
you could count 60 seconds. You could count 1 to 60 and time could take, and in reality it could take 3 minutes, 1 second, 2 years, etc. The
God damn
perception of
fucking loud
time
fucking
is
bullshit.
completely warped. There is
God-
no perception of linear time. Time just
God damn it,
exists.
Siege! God damn it, Siege!
That fucking
You
mollusk.
see,
Why are you
this
screaming about
is why
bird
you go
squids?
Slanesh
No.
or corn.
Yes.
Corn, yes.
Corn?
Corn.
Ooh, ta ta ti ta ta. Oh, wah, ah, ah, yeah.
Fruit actually makes the Imperial Aquila sign of the Imperium before following the rest of the party.
So we reached the tree.
One of the Eden's guard just
Okay, you
stares
just
at
maybe
you like
have
you
to have
grew a
another
third
mech
head.
idea. I'm gonna have to make the Krieg at some point.
Wait, what does one of the Eden's guard
What's
do?
One of the Eden guard just Xana, one of the Eden guard just stares at you like you grew a second head
Oh,
before
wait.
turning back and continuing walking.
Oh, damn.
Fucking
God damn it, I'm gonna have to make the HFI Krieg at some point now to be the Hellfire weapons platform. It's like
Oh god.
Hellfire Industries. Bring the Krieg.
So we reached the base of the tree.
Yes, you reach the base of the tree.
I'll be right back. I gotta go make sure my roommate's
The
awake. Get
roots
ready.
are massive, gargantuan. Like, it's like standing in the very bottom. Oh. What do you want to do, Soul?
So, is this the Seattle Space Needle? Are we in Seattle right now?
He just looks at you just like,
Does
what?
Vector remember Seattle?
The what now?
Keep in mind, the year is 33C.
3D.
I'm a history buff.
You remember you. It stands for Union.
Yeah.
The calendar is weird because it started. The modern calendar for Union started when Union was officially formed, when the first com was officially formed and whatnot.
Which was
I really
around
like
the
pre-Union history,
23rd
and there was this
century.
old city called Seattle, or Seattle, Seattle,
I thought it was
something
Shadow.
like that. Maybe, I don't know.
You know,
Wallace.
like Shamus.
Well, the thing is that
Maybe.
a lot of Cradle's history is known, but a lot of the cities aren't there anymore.
Mhm.
a lot of the cities and infrastructure that once was on Cradle just isn't there anymore, as Cradle is now basically a wildlife preserve.
Stole
But
all
they
my
had this
cities,
tall.
on Earth. Can't have Detroit and shit.
They had this really tall, thin building that they called a Space Needle, and it
you're
was like a
talking
restaurant
about.
or something.
You're talking about you're talking about pre-collapse history.
Yeah. Pre-Union history.
Now that's pre-collapse of Earth history.
Pre-Union is between the collapse and the founding of Union, in this sort of gray area where, like, after meeting Ra and after Earth society had collapsed.
Yeah.
How can Cradle collapse though? It's a planet with its own gravitational well.
The ecosystem and societal structures collapsed.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Planet died.
Yeah.
Anyways,
died, but it
headcanon, this
survived.
is Seattle. Vecna remembers Seattle.
What would there be to remember? He never went.
No,
He remembers
Maybe he saw
Valve.
simulations very early on in his life.
It's like how everyone hates Ohio. You've never been there. You don't even know it exists. But someone
Ohio
mentions it and you
doesn't
just know you
exist.
hate
Shut
it.
Ohio doesn't exist. It's something made up by the government.
Ohio doesn't exist.
After
It's a
the
government
train
psyop.
derailment of pre-Union 2022.
Ohio is a myth. It's a fabrication created by the government.
Nuclear missile has been launched. Your end is here, Ohioan.
All right. Let's,
Okay, let's get back on track.
All right, let's
Very
go up
funny.
the Space Needle
Nice
real
tangent.
quick.
There is not a space needle, I will say that.
It's a giant tree. This is the image we're just using.
It's just a gigantic fucking tree.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
So, reaching the base of the tree, you guys enter what feels like a valley of sorts. Despite not going down, it feels like you are. As massive walls made of the tree's roots rise up around you, seemingly for miles and miles, before you come to a smooth, perfectly symmetrical triangular gateway carved out of what looks like black glass or stone. What's beyond is unclear. It appears to be the edge. That film that made up the bubble it fills the entryway of this gate.
Well then.
So, what do you do?
I would like to go up with my mech and
The spook takes notes.
I want to knock on it.
Well,
Hello?
it's
Anybody
it's-
home?
Housekeeping.
Question. What do you knock on exactly? The gateway or the portal? Or film?
The gateway.
I am going to boop the snoot.
I'm not touching the portal because I don't want it to suck me in.
The black glassy stone material doesn't make any sound when it's hit.
I pull out.
There's the sensation of hitting it, and you can feel it, but there's no sound, no audio signifier of impact.
But it looks like obsidian. That's fucking wild.
I pull out a ball pin hammer
Hello,
and throw it at
Whack.
the portal.
Welcome mid-session.
Hello.
Why are you here?
Why is the burb here?
What are you doing here, Whack?
Oh
What's up,
God,
man?
Ra's here. Ra has appeared.
Oh,
Ra's
no.
children are breaking the fourth walls and
Oh God damn it!
invading other.
Other
Universes.
RPGs.
Damn it!
You know what?
Z!
Fuck it. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a giant two-legged crow. It's standing like a person and staring at you, and it's gone as soon as you turn to look at it.
What the fuck?
Spook definitely makes the Imperial Quality Award off heel and says, "Damn it, Siege."
Whatever.
Dennis.
Anyway,
Yes.
I'm too focused with this obsidian glass that like is not obsidian glass.
It's a sort of. It looks and has the same sort of texture as obsidian, but it's not it's not exactly glass. It's closer to a stony resin metal thing.
So it's like raw
Uh,
obsidian.
E- Eden is
Sort
going
of.
to give it a scan. See if she can kind of like pick out what it is, or at least what it's made of.
Well, what it's made of is exactly that. It's obsidian, the same chemical composition, the same structure, but it's also a metal and a stone. It's like someone had mixed all three materials into one.
Whoa.
So it's like obsidian's plasma stage.
I'm
Like you
gonna.
have liquid, gas, solid stages, and at the perfect temperature and like all that shit, you get plasma.
No, because plasma is a glass. It is still solid, but it is it's made of it is a metal-like stone that's made out of obsidian. It's not glass, but it is made out of the same stuff that obsidian is.
I'm gonna pull out a tactical pickaxe and smack at it.
The pickaxe shatters. Like
That is the exact
it
opposite of what I
utterly
expected.
disintegrates like magic sand in water.
I'm
we
going to
hear it
poke the
shatter?
No, there is no sound. It
I'm going
just
to
shatters.
I want to look
lightly
at Eden.
poke the
I want to look at
obsidian.
Eden and say, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah, I can.
The mook is very
They
fastly
done murdered
scribbling.
little Jimmy!
Eden
mook
Okay,
is
so
going
anything that
to.
touches this makes no sound. I want to like place my hand on this obsidian, and then once again look at Eden and say, "Can you hear me now?"
Can I hear him?
Yes.
I can
Did
hear him.
anything happen when I poked the obsidian?
Huh?
Nope. It's just
Eden is
stone.
going to take a moment before she'll touch it with her own hand, not her mech's hand, her own hand, and see if she can draw out a piece of it.
Okay.
Now we're getting somewhere. The
Hey.
material. Hi, Whack.
Hello, Burb. By the way, one of your children
No.
is canon in Lancer now. Congratulations.
Oh, let's go. Which one is it?
Me,
Yes.
We
As
don't.
a phantasmal reality bent imagery out
Reality
of
has
the corner of our
reality
eyes.
warps, and the entire party sees a Kenku out of the corner of their eye,
Then he just
and
disappears
I'm
as soon as he
blaming
arrives.
and then it just vanishes as soon as they try and get a better look.
and the spook is blaming one of the chaos gods for this entire situation.
You look to see what's at the corner of your eye, and you just see a feathery middle finger.
You just see a Kenku eating a bag of chips.
The spook yells to the sky, "God damn it, Zeus, get the hell back to your own universe!"
So, what happens when I touch the stone?
Alright, now we're getting somewhere. When you touch the stone, instead of it being drawn into you, it feels more like you're being drawn into it. Like your soul as an NHP is being sucked in and through it. It's not quite being pulled through, but you can feel that tug, like standing in rushing water.
That's a new feeling.
When you pull your
Can
hand
I-
away, there is a small, vaguely star-shaped chunk left sitting in the palm of your hand.
Eden will hold it up and just kind of like chuckle.
Is there a hole? Is there like an abscess where the chunk was, or is the chunk
Nope.
still?
The chunk is in Eden's hand, but the gateway itself is completely unaffected.
Is it like
But if I
embedded
touch
or
it
kind of
with
like
out of
gently
my
placed?
Like someone had handed it to you, gently placed in the very palm of your hand.
But
And-
almost like this chunk was not a part of the gateway. There's no sign on the gateway that
There is
piece
no
came
sign
from
of the
it.
gateway that the piece came out of it, but the materials are the exact same. It couldn't have come from anywhere else, almost as if as soon as it had pulled away, or instantly as it was being pulled away, it filled itself back in.
Can I do a mass scan? See if the mass of this thing changed?
Yeah. The
Did I
mass,
poke it with my non-suit hand?
yes, I will go one at a time. The mass of the gateway is impossible. It has no mass.
Like a black
When
hole.
scanned, it is an absence of weight and density and mass. It is essentially a black hole. But it's not. And when Haran touches the gateway, it feels warm. Like sitting in front of a fireplace in a comforting home, surrounded by friends and family. The arm of someone you care about gently wrapped around your shoulder.
Huh. That's
I'm going
interesting.
to pour water on it.
It's kind of cozy.
Nothing happens when the water hits the material.
Interesting. I hit it with
It
something
just
really solid and it
harmlessly
disintegrates.
splashes against the ground.
I pour water on
Interestingly
it, it does
enough-
nothing.
Interestingly enough, the water doesn't pass through the portal.
Eden's going to get back in her mech, being very careful to place that star of this obsidian material into a compartment on her form, making sure it's nice and safe before she will move into the portal.
Before you do that, real quick, I would like to try to find a chunk of debris somewhere, either chunk of metal or something that's big enough. Tie some like wire or rope or whatever I may have on hand around it, and try to toss it through the portal. See if it goes through.
That seems sensible.
Smart.
Since the water didn't go through the portal, is it selective entry or
The The rock doesn't go through the portal. When it hits, it's like it hits a giant bathtub filled with jello. It sits
Boing.
there for a minute, wobbling on the surface before bouncing off.
Okay, at the
Okay,
risk
so-
of
Like it
losing
had
an
been
arm, I'm
tossed
going to put
back.
my mechanical hand through the portal, or
That's what I was
calmly
gonna do.
try to.
I want to observe this to see if it's like a non-Newtonian fluid.
All right. So, all right. Who wants to do what first?
I want to try my thing first, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
keep like
Sorry.
poking the wall and getting the cozy.
Eden, you wanted to go through the portal, yes?
Yes, just non-forcefully,
All right.
just casually walk into the portal.
The portal. It's impossible to tell if it is a portal or not. as when you pass through, you vanish. You pass through perfectly fine. It's impossible to tell where, from the outside of the portal, it's impossible to tell where Eden may have gone, as the surface is completely still.
As soon as Eden goes through, the Eden guard will seeming a little panicked, will move through the portal as well.
The Eden Guard. Do I want to allow the Eden Guard through?
That is entirely up to you there.
It is selective.
Not right now. The Eden Guard just kind of bounce off, like running into a trampoline.
What the fuck?
Cool.
Huh.
Great. I'm gonna try putting my mech arm, like my prosthetic arm, through the portal.
It passes through completely fine. On
Okay,
the other
I'm gonna.
side, you can feel warm, cool air, like uh, like a summer breeze almost.
Do we have an air current? I'm gonna pull my mech arm back and try my actual hand.
Same
Yay
thing.
for having prosthetics. Same thing. Ooh, it's
Mhm.
warm too. Okay. So people can pass through it even if they're mechanical. But other things can't.
The Eden's Guard can't pass through. Rocks and
Like,
water
okay.
also can't.
It's a selective. It's a conscious portal.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
basically,
This is being controlled by Vector 100%.
yeah, I think this is gonna be a friends only door.
What I want to try is, this is gonna sound kind of weird. I want to
Hey,
try going
Haran,
through
can
the
you try and
portal.
go through? I want to see if he thinks you as a friend.
Okay, I'm gonna try and go through.
Come on, like if Haran isn't able to go through, his best friend, we've got problems.
All right. Haran, when you go through the portal, the feeling is multiplied. Seemingly, for a very split second, you are seemingly transported to the place where this sensation is coming from before it's gone. And you're left standing on a hill in. You are left standing on a hill underneath a large oak tree in the middle of a massive rolling plain. You can see Eden a distance away, standing outside of the gateway, which on this side sits like a door in the middle of a field, completely unsupported, simply sitting there.
And it's just looking out, just taking in the beautiful scenery.
Around you, the rolling plains seem to stretch on for miles and miles. As a soft breeze just rolls through. Next.
I will trot up to Eden.
All right, who wants to go next?
I want to try to go through the portal sideways to see if I can see both ends simultaneously,
Oh god.
or if it's like a, once you touch it, you're through.
Well, it almost works. When you are perfectly between one side and the other, you get this violently splitting headache, like something was driving a railroad spike into your forehead right between your eyebrows before you're yanked onto the other side, stumbling a bit
So I'm
as you
half
enter
right.
on the side with Eden and Haran.
Okay. Weird. I will relay that experience to Eden for her research.
Trust me.
I am
There's
not going to
nothing
try
normal
something
when it
dumb like
comes
that.
to-
I'm just going through.
Trust me when I say nothing is normal when it comes to NHP cascading. You're
All
I
about
thought
to
you were just going to say nothing is normal when it comes to Vecna, and I would still agree with you.
6 at one, half dozen the other.
All right. That only leaves the spook.
Zena?
Come on, Xana. Get your ass through the portal. Or at least try.
Get through the portal, Shinji!
Get in the fucking portal, Shinji!
I think they're checking on their roommate.
Probably.
Get in the fucking portal.
God damn it. If Jericho develops the knack for creating mechs, I'm
Nice.
going to have to make one called the Evangelion.
Hmm?
Wait, Jericho, why are you naming everything after pop culture references? Because the voices tell me to!
Get in the
So
robot,
Vecna finds
Shinji!
it funny.
Shinji, crank that soldier boy.
All right. So, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of you stand on the other side of this portal. It's standing there, completely untouched, completely unchanging, in the middle of the large field. In the distance is the hill with the large tree at the top, and around you, a sea of rippling green,
May I change the
Right.
image?
verdant grass. Yep, go ahead. And in the distance, you can see something. Give thing a moment.
Have a handout ready when you are ready to give me permission to use it.
Yeah, go ahead, swap it over.
Alright. In the distance, you see.
Baby.
Sorry.
No, this is whack. This is me DMing a. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, you were asking about Souls game. My bad. My brain.
No.
fried.
This is not Souls game. This is.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Lancer.
I knew it wasn't Soul's game.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh,
Bop the bird.
that's a completely other time.
Yeah, so
So
the
that-
13th is a week before Karth and Thanos go out into the field. So that's when I'm trying to do session 0. Because they may miss session 1 or 2 or something.
When you guys are
Mhm.
ready, you can look in handouts and you will find an image of what you see.
You see a cheeseburger.
No, you see. I'm also going to post this in Discord.
It's a
He's
rat!
got guts spilling out.
This.
Oh shit. Alright.
You see this standing in the field.
No.
Oh, right, not the field. Sorry. Right, this
What
is your
you
time.
see in the distance is a large house. Mid-colonial era. Similar to the kind of prefabricated housing that would be used on early colonized worlds. Next to it is a small wind and solar farm, and the other side is a garden patch filled with sunflowers and some what looks like carrots, maybe.
You know, for Vecna's Psyche, this is very much not what I was expecting.
Leading
I mean, I don't
from
know what
the
I was
door,
expecting, but this
going
wasn't it.
for about quite a distance is a small slightly cobbled pathway lined with what look like poppies.
Eden will follow the pathway, being very careful as she walks. This place is
Haran will go behind.
This place is insanely peaceful. Maybe his mind just wants peace in some way.
I mean, he deserves it.
More than you'll ever know.
And
Why, probably. There's a lot of things more than I'll ever know.
And, interestingly enough, when you pass through this portal, the droning stops. It's over. No constant buzzing, no sound.
Where's my now? Hey, everyone, you hear that?
Just
Nothing.
the soft breath
Yeah,
of
exactly.
wind through leaves running across the grass. But there's something. A sort of song in the back of your mind. All of you can hear it. Just peaceful.
So is this just a perfectly blank, empty-ish area, or
Mm-hmm.
is there like key features?
Rolling fields of green grass stretch out for what looks and feels like infinity all around. There's the gateway and the hill with the tree on it and the house, but they all seem oddly spaced. From a certain angle,
Like a
they look as if they,
imperceivable depth, or like just like their spacing doesn't make sense?
from a certain angle, it looks like they could take hours to reach on foot. But then you look again and they're only a few steps away. The road, or the pathway, flanked by poppies that slightly sway in the breeze, stretches on for both miles and only a few feet.
Could I use my read a situation to try to mentally grasp this sort of dimension that we're in?
Yeah, go ahead, give me a roll.
That is with a +4. Probably not gonna do it.
No. Trying
I
to
get more of a headache trying to understand.
Yeah, trying to grasp the distance between everything and map it out yourself just ends up giving you a headache.
Let's stay together.
Nice. All right.
This place is beyond weird.
Simply
Well, now
just
hold on.
guys,
Let's do
don't
a
think about
little
it too
bit of an
hard.
experiment. Let's either divide or try to walk one at a time towards that house and kind of see what happens. Because this is a big open area. We can see each other no matter how far away we get. But like the perception of the distance will change.
All right, go ahead.
What's the experiment?
So like, let's say Eden, you start walking towards the house, and then after I don't know what we perceive to be like 30 paces, let's say, the next person will go and keep going for like to try to space out like 30 paces between each other
All right. I'll
in a
start
line towards
first
the house
then.
and see like if the perception of distance changes and if it's like an individual thing or if it's like a
All right.
full
Eden
group thing or
will
what.
set out 30 paces before stopping.
It feels like 30 paces, though it looks more like she walked about 32. Walking back, it feels like 2, but she's walked the exact same distance.
That's weird.
And that's
You're cutting out again, Wack.
Hold on, I need to whack the burb with the freaking wrench. Bop!
Alrighty.
Right, that was 32 paces. That's rather odd.
Next.
Who wish to go next?
I'm honestly down to just go to the place.
Yeah,
Right
I'll go
ahead.
second.
Walking. I assume you just walk right up to the door?
Yep.
It's a almost cute door. It's got that sort of fairy tale hominess to it. There's a small doorbell next to it on the door frame, and the handle is, well, a handle. It's not quite large enough for your mech to use, and to fit through the doorway, many of you will all most likely have to disembark. But it's a house. The door is a door. The handle is a handle.
You didn't.
It wasn't a dirty hole that was dark, cold, and full of worms. This was a hobbit hole.
Exactly.
Eden will
This is a
get
hole.
out of her mech and will knock on the door softly.
Hey, pizza.
Rat, tat, tat.
There's a soft sort of music coming from inside. It's not quite a song, not quite ambient music, more a sort of feeling of music, though the door doesn't open.
Eden will try to open the door.
It's completely unlocked, and it swings open easily, as if the hinges are completely silent. There's no sound. There's no stress. It just slowly hinges open.
Eden will take a look inside.
Inside is a home. It's your standard union prefabricated home. Comfortable, if slightly cliche couch, a nice kitchen, a TV, radio, lights on the ceiling, and everything.
What happens if we turn the radio on, and if it isn't already?
There is no radio, though the TV is on. It's just blank. No static, no noise, just a completely blank, faintly glowing white screen.
Can I change the channel?
Yeah, you can go right ahead. The TV remote either doesn't work or the TV itself doesn't pick up any other signals.
God damn it, the cable's out. Someone go stand on the roof with a wire hanger.
Eden just shakes her head as she'll walk in and look around before deciding to go down the hallway.
The hallway leads first on the left to a small laundry room Then a bit further down is the bathroom. Then at the end of the hall is a small bedroom.
Eden will check out the bedroom.
It's empty. Not in the sense that there's nothing in there, but there's no one in it. And there's an odd sort of coldness to the room. The kind that was lacking from the rest of the house. Sort of like the room itself was in pain, almost. There's a bed and a dresser and a chair and tables and a TV facing the bed and a desk and closet. Everything a bedroom should have.
Is there any pictures in the room?
There is one picture, a small framed photo of a family.
Eden
In the
will
photo
pick up the
is
photo
a-
and look at it.
In the photo is a man, a woman, and what looks like a young child, possibly around 7 years old. The man is a little taller than average, nothing impressive. He's mid 40s, judging by appearance and hair and wrinkles. His eyes are slightly dirtier than blue, and his hair is short, blonde, dirty, darker at the roots. The woman is.
Blonde.
It's hard to describe her. She's average. Almost perfectly so, though. Her face isn't particularly beautiful. Her hair isn't particularly soft looking or luxurious. Her eyes aren't particularly bright or colorful. Her body isn't particularly impressive, but she is wonderfully average. The perfect image of a beautiful woman. Not perfect, but just good enough.
Eden will set down the picture back where she found it. We're looking around the
child-
room once more. Sorry.
The child in the picture is the perfect picture of a young child. A young girl. 7 years old. Long, bright blonde hair. Bright blue eyes. Happy smile. Cute dress. Everything. She is the perfect picture of childlike innocence and joy. And the parents both seem ecstatically enamored with her. It's the very picture of a wonderful family. But it contrasts very strangely with the emptiness and the coldness of the room. Feels out of place in a way nothing else in the house does.
Eden sets the photo back down and looks around the room, thinking. You're missing it. I know you are. Deserve to know it. Before she walks out the room and closes the door very softly, moving back to join the rest of the group.
The living room.
So, any sign
is-
anyone's home?
No.
No sign anyone's home.
I
There's.
don't think he's here right now.
Though there is stairs and the kitchen. Stairs lead to the second floor of the house, and the kitchen is possibly occupied, judging by the smell of food.
I will head in there.
Jericho,
Inside,
let's check out
there's,
the second floor.
inside the
Aye,
kitchen, it's rather nice. Plenty of space, a nice island, a stove, good fridge, plenty of cabinet space. Overall, the ideal kitchen. And sitting on the island is a freshly made grilled cheese. Nice golden,
Dibs.
almost brown toasting on the bread, and just the right amount of cheese leaking out.
Dibs, Haran can
How
have it. I
fresh
call
does it
dibs.
look?
It looks completely fresh, like it had just been made only seconds ago. Though that could be due to the odd way time works in this place.
I am tempted.
Are you tempted to try the anomalous grilled cheese?
Yes. Is Eden upstairs?
Yes,
Yes,
Eden is
Eden-
upstairs.
Eden and Jericho have gone upstairs. Do you eat the anomalous grilled cheese?
You vaguely hear from upstairs. Dibs!
Yes.
It tastes like a grilled cheese. There's nothing
I'm gonna finish it.
It's a rather good one. It's not delicious. It's not gourmet by any means. It's not perfect, but it is.
I come from the school of
Comforting.
thought that if you make a gourmet grilled cheese, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
It's not 5 stars by any means. It's not luxuriantly delicious cheese and wonderfully textured and flavored bread, but it's
It's simple.
comfortingly average,
It's
like the kind of food your
comfortingly
mother
simple.
would make.
Tastes of home.
Although, once you take a bite of the grilled cheese, you notice something next to the plate.
I'm gonna expect to see what that thing is.
Please tell me it's a
You
note written in
notice-
Vecna's handwriting saying, I saw that, Haran.
No. You notice a Snickers. The packaging is slightly faded and crumpled, most likely from having been stuffed into a soup pocket or into one of the many pockets Vecna has, but you recognize it as one of the Snickers you gave him.
Okay, that's just as good.
Aww.
I'm going to pick it up, inspect it, and put it back down on the counter to leave it for him.
Aww.
But then also, if they're still busy upstairs, and I did just eat his grilled cheese, I'm going to start checking the cupboards to see what other ingredients and stuff they have, and see if it's potential, especially either if he has a panini press or he has a cutting board and a sizable amount of soup cans.
Why a panini press?
What?
Okay,
What?
do you guys know how to make a panini if you don't have a panini press?
No.
I assume
Okay,
a
you
large
get-
amount of soup cans.
You get a see exactly because you need something. You get something flat like the cutting board or whatever. You put it on top of the sandwich, and then you put soup cans and stuff on top of it to be the weight to smush it down.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, looking through the cabinets and cupboards, you find dishes, plates, cups, bowls, everything you'd expect. Although everything is a strange sort of very basic beige, creamish white color. The plates seem like an odd mixture between plastic and ceramic, and the glasses are all oddly average. Inside the cupboards, in way of food, you find unmarked cans, unmarked boxes, unmarked bags, all with this blank face and completely white packaging. The paper and labeling that would usually tell what they were is white and missing. It's like those odd Canadian foods that have just this yellow wrapping that just says the name of the food. It's odd. Although when you grab something, you can tell what it is. Almost just knowing what it was before you grabbed it. There is, however, a panini press for some reason, along with a waffle press, multiple pans, a blender, and a colander.
I will get out the waffle press as well. May as well make breakfast too. Is there an apron?
There is. It says, "Bite me."
Why are you
Kim
laughing?
left.
What? Oh
I'm gonna guess their internet died
no! Oh no!
because they're on their phone now.
That is way too perfect timing. If it was
Mhm.
actually her internet, if it was actually her internet, it was way too perfect.
Yeah.
I do love the apron though.
Yeah.
And the apron says, "Bite me." Dung! Harana's died.
You back?
When did I cut out? I didn't
You-
realize it was out.
The apron that
Apron.
says, "Bite me."
I
yeah.
said, yeah, that's definitely Vecna's apron. So I'm going to put that on and just start cooking
Yeah.
waffles in a big panini sandwich.
Nice. Alrighty. Moving over to Eden and Jericho. You two are upstairs, yes?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I don't know if anyone else wants to follow us, but you're welcome to.
Upstairs, at the top of the stairs, is a sort of small common area? Sort of a
lounge.
landing and sort of half room. Like an open space. It has a couch, a small little a couch that could possibly be used as a bed, a chair, desk, table, even another TV, though this one is significantly smaller. And a window that looks out into the garden and somehow is able to see the tree.
Maybe that's where he is right now.
Across from
garden?
No, a
across
tree.
from the like living room
Mm,
or living area sort of is a door. This door, however, is much different from the one in the first bedroom. This one is pink. Bright, Pepto-Bismol pink. Plastered with colorful
Well-
stickers and drawings
I will say one
Very
thing for Vecna: he has no sense
cute.
of interior decoration.
and
Yeah.
a very cute picture of a cat, crudely scribbled in crayon, hanging from the front. On the
Eden.
door frame is the marker marks of a height chart, where someone had been measuring how much their child had grown.
I would say that this looks like a kid's room.
Eden will kind of kneel down and run her finger over the marks, just chuckling and saying, "This is Pretty nice.
There are some darker lines with small words written next to them. From the bottommost one is 1 year, and then above that, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, and then it stops. 2 marks above year 7.
Eden will gently open the door.
The door leads into a almost stereotypical child's bedroom, specifically the bedroom of a young girl. There's a large, almost hand-carved looking chest in the corner under the window, filled and almost overflowing with toys. There's a small chair and table with a mirror on it. There's a large 4-poster bed. There's a wardrobe, and everything is a sort of bright pink and white, like that stereotypical Hello Kitty Barbie doll aesthetic. And the bed is loaded with blankets and stuffed animals, and on the ceiling are small
Squishmallows.
glow-in-the-dark, yeah, essentially. And on the ceiling are those fun glow-in-the-dark star stickers that seem to glow even with the light filtering in from the window. This room feels sad. Not the cold sort of pain of the first bedroom. This empty, aching loss. Like the room itself was sad that it had lost its occupant. There was, on the bed, blankets were visibly wrinkled, like someone had been sitting there recently. And there was a small wet stain on one of the pillows. Specifically, tears.
Eden will just look at this and sigh. So much he's probably going through now. I'd have to find out this way. For turning back to Jericho. Well, let's check out the other rooms.
Yeah.
As she walks out the room and will gently close the door as well. Not wanting to disturb it anymore.
The other rooms are, well, the only other rooms that you haven't seen is the laundry room and the bathroom.
Eden will head back down and try the laundry room first.
It's a laundry room. There's a small animal bed in the corner. There's a washer-dryer combo, a backup generator, a few closets and cupboards for storing detergent and hangers and all that, and a door that leads out into the backyard. Or, well, back acres. It's surprisingly average. Just a very simple laundry room.
She will take a moment to look it all over before heading out to look at the bathroom, just to check if there's anything in there.
The bathroom has a bit more. It's got the bathtub with a shower, of course, toilet, cabinets, medicine cabinet with a mirror on it, and the sink. With the sink and mirror being the site of something a bit gruesome, very clearly. The mirror has been shattered, like it was punched, with blood staining some of the shards that stick out more. And the sink is stained, almost the bowl almost completely turned red, with multiple straight razors, a kitchen knife, and other shaving razors stained with blood littering the sink, edge of the sink, and sitting in the bowl.
Are we able to test for whose blood?
Yeah, I was about to say, Eden will pick up one of the razors and scan the blood on it.
The blood registers as belonging to a Union citizen by the name of...
Wagon may have had the internet disconnect.
Yep. Okay. The blood belongs to a man by the name of Jonah Gilchrist. This links to a news report, or well, a news article, stating that from a small colony world, the news report, or article, is talking about how a farmhouse, a colonial house, was broken into. The man, the father, Jonah, was gone. There was blood and signs of a struggle, his blood specifically, but there was no sign of him. The wife and daughter, however, were both found dead with gunshot wounds. The wife was found inches away from a scratched kitchen knife, and the child was on the stairs. The news article concluded that a break-in of some kind occurred. Jonah likely fought off the attacker or fought back, was wounded for his trouble. The wife tried to help, attacking whoever attacked with a knife, and got a bullet for the trouble. The child, hearing the disturbance, it's unknown why she died, just that she did. The article ends wondering where Jonah was and if the authorities will discover who caused it.
Eden, hands shaking a bit, will set down the razor and tell Jericho what she learned. Her voice very clearly shaky as she recounts the details from the report.
Jericho's just going to furrow his brow and try and think about how this all connects to Vecna, because we have a person that has some significance here for some reason.
There's just a soft chuckle from Eden. There's a lot that needs to be explained. I'll explain it in time.
Probably.
I'll explain it in time, don't worry.
Alright.
Can I get a spelling out of that person's name, please?
Yes. Jonah crest.
Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty then.
Trust me when I
So
say that
that's
I wish I could be able to explore more now, but for now, that's gonna have to wait for later.
That's fine. I don't mind trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle.
Cookie, if you're able to figure it out.
Oh, I mean, I am a genius.
You're a genius engineer. You're not Batman.
Well, no. I don't have the dead parents from. Well, I mean, they died, but not like that.
I know.
Still, yeah, I'm an engineer. I'm good at putting things together.
well. Let's see if you can put the hints together.
Oh, if I don't get a migraine first.
Eden will close the door and will go to find everyone else. And ask what they have found
Alright.
so far.
So, Soul, since you're back, are you
Yeah.
back? Yeah. What exactly do you want to do or have done while everyone else is rummaging around in Vector's kitchen and discovering the sad fate of a family?
What else is there to this house? Is there like
There's the garden and the solar farm and the wind farm.
okay? Is there like a bedroom or something?
Bedrooms have been explored.
Okay.
Kiwi went into the master bedroom, found a picture of the family. Then PB and Jericho went up to the upstairs bedroom, found out it was the child's bedroom, and then they went back down.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go explore the garden.
The garden is rather well tended. A few small running along the edge of the fence are sunflowers, and inside the garden itself is some carrots, a few strawberry plants, like a pot filled with strawberries, and a pumpkin for some reason.
Okay. Some sort of gourd.
Yeah, some sort of gourd.
Do the strawberries appear ripe, or are they like blooming, or?
Yeah, well, they're in various stages. Some are ripe, some
Okay.
are blooming, some are green.
Okay. I would like to pick one of the ripe strawberries and eat it as I make my way over to the wind farm.
The strawberry pops off like, well, a ripened strawberry would. It's big and beautiful crimson color. With
Big and
a,
juicy.
yes, with a very nice smell to it. About, the strawberry itself is about the size of, let's say, the two fingers.
Okay.
It's quite large.
Okay. Yeah. I'll chomp on that a little bit. And I'll make my way over to the wind farm.
It's about as delicious as it looks. The wind farm doesn't particularly have anything special about it, or at least not much. It's a solar and wind farm. There's some solar panels that have looked recently cleaned, judging by the slight shimmering of the
Okay.
panels. And
Now remember, kids,
looks-
always grease your solar panels so that way you can have cookout on them.
mhm. The wind turbines look fine. They're union standard. Though a few of them do have some small wind chimes strapped to them.
What kind of chimes?
Chimes made of specifically pasta, like macaroni.
Like a kid's art project, I assume?
Yes, like a child's art project.
That is
Mm.
adorable.
Edible wind chimes.
Okay. But there doesn't really seem to be much out here other than just the garden and wind farm.
Nope, not much out there.
Okay. I guess I'll go back in then.
All right. So, that's everyone in the house, yes?
Yep.
All
Mhm.
right, good. Now, why don't you all sit down and compare notes?
I suppose we
Eden,
can all meet up in the living room or the kitchen.
let's meet up in the
Kitchen,
kitchen.
living room.
The kitchen feels like the best place.
Mm.
Eden will go over what she has found. First, the noticeable mood change from certain rooms, specifically the bedroom, and the bedroom feeling cold, and the child's bedroom feeling empty. An empty sadness. Then the, bathroom. And tell what she does know from the article of Mr. John Gilchrist. Or Jonah Gilchrist. And as she goes over the details, there is very obvious shake in her voice. And, that's what I've found so far. What about you guys?
I mean,
I didn't find much.
Haran?
I mainly have been working in the kitchen here. The food's kind of weird and all unmarked. It's generic, kind of like set pieces, but everything still works here in a very mundane way. It feels like a home, so that room thing that you've attested to is here, and I haven't gotten nearly the same amount of bad vibes. But I did also find this, and I'll point to the Snickers bar, which I know I gave him that.
I mean,
So-
I know you gave him that.
Yeah, you were there.
So,
So
he's here somewhere.
he's either here somewhere, or somehow this is a recursive memory made manifest due to physics breaking down.
It's more likely the
Or
latter.
we're all just going collectively insane.
It's more likely the latter of
I
what
mean,
Haran has said.
I mean, probably. I've currently got 3 theories about this. First is that Vector either feels responsible for what happened here, B is responsible for what happened here, not exactly the most likely, I think, or C, and I find this the most unlikely of all, he is the guy that was here somehow. Don't know how yet.
All three theories have their merits.
Exactly. And I'm working with very little information.
I mean, Eden, considering that you're the local source on the subject, is there any way that an NHP can be created out of the memory or, God forbid, soul of a person?
I mean, who knows what happens to souls when we die? Maybe they go over to the other dimension and become things that we turn into NHPs, which would be a terrifying thought.
I mean, my pastor said he knows, but he doesn't tell me. Every time he tries to explain it, my
Vecna
brain just kind of turns off a bit.
Vecna is a unique case when it comes to an NHP. You've seen that
So-
he is much more emotional than I am.
Do not say that he is the experiment of what happened when someone tried to turn a person into an NHP.
So we don't know where Vector is yet, right?
No. We know that he's here
Okay.
somewhere. We don't know where exactly. It's not like we can go, hey, oh, Vector, come on out.
That's actually been my plan here. That's why when this was done, I was going to work on a pie.
I think
There's some beautiful strawberries out in the garden.
I
You
think
really
Vecna
think he'd come out for
is-
pie?
I think Vecna is at the tree. But
I have an
as
idea
for-
real quick. It may or may not work.
As for what you've asked Jericho, Vecna was an experiment, at least as far as I can tell.
I mean,
I don't
technically
have
all
all the-
NHPs are an experiment, but I mean,
No,
more
he was.
so than.
Yes, he's more so of an experiment than any NHP before.
So he was an experiment trying to turn a person into an NHP.
No, actually.
No. Well, what made him so different than the usual experiment that is creating an NHP, please?
He is an NHP, but he is within a human body that was largely augmented to handle it. And implanted and awakened.
Okay. Okay, so basically
what
we
you're
made an
saying is that
NHP
these
and
might
stuffed him
be-
in a human suit.
It was an experiment
these
to try to
memories
create a
might
better
be-
commander.
And these memories
So,
might be memories from
my-
the body donor.
Yes.
Okay.
That is my primary theory. I don't know much
So-
about what happened before the experiment. All I know
Option
is the
C
details
is
of the experiment.
So my third theory is actually kind of close. I am actually rather disturbed by that.
Remember how I said that I found him cascading in space, correct?
Yes.
Well, that was because he was deemed a failure when he awoke. Went on a rampage and started tearing himself apart, much like any NHP would. I was able to stabilize him by erasing what was there. The human
If
side
you-
were enough that I was able to at least meld the two enough that I don't even understand what I did. All I know is that I made sure that he was stable.
Well, I can say I'd be pretty pissed too if you stuck me in the body of some dead guy.
I think it might be even more than that.
I think it's just Vecna, like I said, Vecna was an experiment to try to create a better commander. The adaptability of the human mind is far greater than most NHPs.
Yeah, I think they forgot one thing, is that it's also exceptionally easy for the human mind to break. That's why we go insane.
I mean, the human mind is pretty...
The human mind is
It's
pretty
potent, but the
resilient.
thing is, yet, compared to most computer stuff, it is more advanced generally, but you do still have the issue that we're dealing with a thinking process which isn't native to this world. And I mean, you remember like what happened, which called the whole Cascade thing was that his mask broke and he was able to see himself, right?
He saw a dead man's face.
He
It's
saw.
I'd say
more
that's
than he
pretty
saw a dead
triggering.
man's face. It's that he's. I remember reading in a book that memories work by being electrical pulses inside the brain. It's highly likely those pulses and those memories still exist. So he sees something like that, and he suffers from a crisis of identity and severe body dysphoria as he's realizing that, like, simultaneously, this is not his body, but it also is, but there's also a mind which doesn't belong inside of his body. And that's,
Yeah, it's called a
not good
psychotic
for one's
break.
health.
Lots of people have those.
Yeah, how many people have
Most people
psychotic
don't
breaks
tear
because
open
there's.
reality though when it happens.
Yeah, and how many of them have two minds locked inside of their brain? I'm not talking
It's
multiple
called
personality disorder.
dissociative identity disorder. Lots of people have it.
Yeah, this isn't DID. This is something bigger.
Do I feel the change that is mentioned?
Mm-hmm. All of you do. When the TV's turned off, something in the house feels calmer. Like the TV had been agitating.
I just turned off Vector's anxiety, didn't I?
Not quite.
Eden will take a moment and think. I cannot claim I know what Vector's going through. As much as I want to be able to help him, I simply can't.
I can't say I can't say I know it, but I can say I understand it. It's called being schizophrenic.
I mean,
I mean, he did joke
schizophrenic
about being
in this way.
schizophrenic all those times. This would
I
explain
mean,
part of that.
that's
I
part of the
think
reason
this
I
is
wanted
more
him
like
to go to therapy.
actually.
That's why I wanted him to see the
I-
same therapist as me.
I don't think even a million years of therapy is gonna fix whatever this is.
No.
Well, we
Hey,
gotta try.
Eden.
So,
Yes, Slicer?
I want to try something. I need your permission as the commander of this ops to do it.
What is it?
This TV, right? Whatever it is, when it's on, it disturbs, upsets, agitates, irritates, whatever it does, something here, right? Turn it off, that goes away.
Yes.
I want to try smashing it.
I'd rather not. I feel like this place is delicate.
Hang on a second, I have an idea. Which is gonna sound maybe crazy, but I think it might get some. This is Wagner's house, right?
Most likely. This is most likely the house of, well, his body.
I don't think just that. The
I think more
Snickers is
specifically.
there. Okay? This isn't just dead guy's house. This is also Wagner's house.
Yes, that is very clear. He made the
Remember-
sandwich, obviously, and the Snickers.
Remember on the
is-
remember on the Dragon Planet, Vecna brought a guitar.
Yeah.
I want to bet solid money that that guitar is here somewhere. And considering I can play guitar, maybe a tune might stir something.
Eden thinks for a moment before she holds out her hands, and nanobots start to swarm out from her hands, forming the guitar.
No. I don't want to just make a guitar. I want to find the guitar.
He most likely formed it like this, but
No,
If it's
the guitar was wood. Old wood. Sun bleached. Bone white. The strings were old horsetail. It
Eden
was
takes a moment after
well
realizing that.
maintained, but it was
She will
handmade.
stand up and make her way over to the master bedroom. And look under the bed.
There's a guitar.
She'll be
It's-
very careful as she grabs it.
It's beautiful. Not old. Not nearly as old as the guitar that Vecna brought to Parn, but it's very old. Its surface is a dark, almost black brown, like tiger's eye. Smooth and soft, with lacquered wood and well cared for oiled strings made from horsehair. The keys or tuning pegs are made of smooth ivory with
Eden will look at it and just anyone who looks in the room just gets a sense that she smiles as she will take the pick and bring it and will pluck the strings very carefully just to hear the sound.
the sound is sad. Beautiful, but sad. It's impossible to tell what note it is or what string was played. The sound seems to be all of them and none of them at once. But it is beautiful, though it doesn't seem to do much.
Bring it here.
Eden brings it over to you and sits it down in front of Jericho.
All right, Jericho's
How's
gonna.
my paninis and waffles coming?
Very well, actually.
Yo, you got a
Despite how
panini
many
maker there?
times, despite any mistakes you might have made, everything seems to be going fine. Even if you did make a mistake, it doesn't seem like the house notices. And
All right.
everything's turning out perfectly.
I will take the waffles, leave them at the table, get a notepad and say for Vecna for them, and then I'm going to take the panini, put it on a plate, and leave it at the windowsill. And then I'm going to see if I can find pie ingredients.
All right. Jericho's gonna take the guitar, set it up very carefully, and go, all right. What was that song that Vecna played? Something like. And then he's gonna start playing that, and but also offhandedly saying, "Don't expect me to sing it though."
I have to admit, he's a good singer.
Though the music is beautiful, even accounting for any difference in skill, it doesn't seem to do much. The house seems to like it though, so that's nice.
Eden is going to look to everyone and say, I'm going to check something. Be back as soon as I can. Heading outside, back into her mech, and is going to check out the tree.
Well, the tree's still there. The sun shining down as bright as ever. Though, as she approaches and rounds around it, on the other side, with the tree between him and the house, is Vector. Standing under the shade, staring up at the branches, watching the sun shine through the leaves.
Eden is slow as she slows down a little as she walks up and eventually disembarks to walk up to him.
His clothes are... well, his robes are missing. Most of his armor is in tatters, and his face seems to be blurred, like it was moving 1,000,000 miles in a single second. Hello,
Hey, Vector.
So, find me.
I said I'd make sure that you're always safe. At least in
Yeah.
a little way.
Yeah, you did. I saw everyone else come through the port. Glad they're okay. Even the spook.
They're all fine. I had no idea any of
Neither
this.
did I.
None of this
Neither did
was in your drives or anything when I found you. I only had basic reports that I could access with falsified credentials.
Yeah. I didn't remember any of this. But the hit knocked my mask off. When I saw him, everything came flooding back.
Even the
I
mightiest
assume
prisons built
everyone
by
else
man
is-
are unable to withstand everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I assume everyone else is still in the house.
Yeah.
I guess you found everything then.
Yeah. I...
Jericho's gotten better with the guitar, I think.
that he has, most likely thanks to, well, your teaching.
I'm a shit teacher.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, he just got better on his own. You, well, regardless, you might want to, call and tell him to get out of there. It's gonna be happening in a bit.
Okay. Eden will get on her comms and tell them, everyone get out of the house. Head to the tree.
I mean, she's also just in time to hear Jericho go like, "Wait a minute, hasn't Eden been gone for a long time?"
What's going on?
Just get out of the house.
Aye, we're coming, we're coming.
I'm bringing over the plates of stuff that I've been cooking with me.
Jericho is
apron.
not going to bring the guitar.
Oh, damn. Alright, so you all filter out of the house and head towards the tree?
Yep, Jericho is gonna ride on top of his monarch.
Was I able to make the pie in time or no?
I'll say yes, because I'm feeling nice. When you all arrive, you see Vecna in the state he's in. His face is blurred, like a motion blur sensor. His hard suit is mostly tatters, showing the humanoid, heavily modified body underneath.
Oh, I did also bring the Snickers with me.
Definitely do not forget the Snickers.
Hey, champ, how you feeling?
Like a monster in a dead man's body.
I mean, you half look it. That being said, this is not what I was expecting when I came down here. I then tap on my monarch that brings out the Schizo Stick Physical Discount Edition. I was fully expecting to have to beat Sensitive with this.
First things first, Vecna, you look hungry, and food's always good for improving moods. Hand over the panini. The other stuff will come later.
Skip, but you know I don't eat.
I know, and I don't care. This is for emotion, not for sustenance. I get how this can be
Thanks.
traumatic.
He takes the panini and sort of stares at it for a long moment. I didn't hurt anyone.
Oh, you created a reality bubble of fuck. That's
Things are kind
kind
of
of
weird in the city, but we checked over some of the Reavers that were there, and as far as we can tell, they're all in a dream stasis thing. I don't know. Reality's wonky, but they're not dead.
yet.
Okay,
Things are just
so
weird.
It doesn't say anything for them when they wake up.
they probably won't. That was the best I could do to put them to a dream.
It's better
They're
than
like me.
what they had to endure.
They
I've
were tricked,
seen the
you know?
reports. I saw the
Forced
report.
into machine bodies. No idea of what was gonna happen to them. Hell, a lot of them just thought they were gonna get some tune-ups or a pair on a cybernetic, and they ended up like that. I feel for them, you know? Reminds me of, yeah.
You saw a piece of you in them, even before you knew.
Glad you guys aren't in the house. It gets messy when it starts.
When what starts? Let's not be playing the pronoun game here.
Memory. And as soon as he says that,
Let me guess, we're gonna
the
hear gunshots, aren't we?
sky.
We're gonna hear gunshots, aren't we?
Oh, not quite. The sky shifts. The sun, if there is one, seems to move at super speeds, sailing across the sky before dipping down under the horizon as the moon rises up and sits perfectly above the house, bathing the entire area in moonlight. And from the portal, or shimmering into existence around it, is a squadron of Marines, Black Ops troops, wearing Harrison Industries insignia, all of them armed and armored to the teeth. They approach the house, encircle it, and then one of them knocks. From the distance, the tree is away from the house. You can barely make out the sight of the man, of a man, likely Jonah, opening and answering the door. He pauses for a second before trying to slam it shut, only to have the door smashed open as the group of Marines file into the house. There's a sound of breaking furniture and struggling before a scream and a gunshot, and then another. A few minutes later, the Marines drag the man out by his arms and vanish like mist in the wind. Moon still hanging over the small house.
That's what happened.
Hmm.
That doesn't exactly explain the bathroom, though.
I'll get to that. You you'd probably like an explanation, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At
I can
some
fill in what
point,
blanks I can, but I don't exactly
That's
know
all
much
right.
before the. Well,
I
It's
have
not
one
exactly.
question, well, two questions actually, before you start giving us answers.
Hmm?
First
Those
of
would be.
all, how many times has that replayed here? And second of all, have you tried stopping it? Like, when it happens, have you tried to interfere?
I have.
Did it
Doesn't
work?
help. I might have near complete control over this place, but I don't have control over my own mind.
Hmm.
Anytime I try, they just melt. It's like walking through fog.
If it's a
That's
recollection
for-
of the past, you can't change that.
As for how many times it's happened, I lost count.
So a lot. Okay.
Too many. Eventually, I just learned to come out here and try and block out the sound.
Aye, that's trauma for you.
Now then, I suppose I should explain that now.
Aye, that would be good about now.
His name was Jonah Gilchrist. You probably guessed that.
Yeah, we found that out.
Yeah. He moved to the colony world of Van Zant with his wife. She
And
was
daughter.
pregnant when they set no. She was pregnant when they set up the house.
Ah,
Gave birth about a month after. Spent 7 years here
aye, that's
raising that
about
kid.
adds up.
Then, well, you saw the Harrison works. They needed test subjects for a project they were developing. A weapons project of a sort. See, Harrison had decided to work with Horace on this. They wanted to try and make a best way to put it. They wanted to make a god of war that could lead 1,000 armies across 1,000 worlds into 1,000,000 battles and to win each and every time.
I mean, if
Sounds a
they're
lot
just
easier to just delegate on lower levels. Seems kind of dumb of them.
I mean,
You'd
if
think
they're
that.
looking to put an NHP in an organic body, can't they just grow a clone body?
They tried. Flash
And failed.
Flash clones had mixed results. Without the proper personality, mind, the soul, I suppose. The prototypes went mad. They were unstable, practically unraveling them, practically unshackling as soon as they were implanted.
I mean, it's not
It
like using
was
an
harder.
actual body was any better idea.
Yeah.
With the Flash Clone ones specifically, many of them.
Flash clones don't have a soul, you say. They
They're
needed
husks.
the
Empty. Nothing there.
So they needed people. People with strong will, strong minds, strong bodies. Who better than a military veteran? Eh? Moved out here on his pension with a kid and a wife. Eh? That's a strong will. Strongest will there is, the will of a father. Will of a man willing to give up everything to protect what he cares about.
Yeah, but where does that will go when he's lost it all?
It
You're
goes-
literally asking for insanity with that.
It goes to rage.
Aye, they didn't care about that.
That
the
will
will
gets
should
turned
have.
into anger.
rage. Anger.
Anger and hatred and rage. And that
Like-
gets channeled to command. Brutal commands. orders with casualty tolls in the billions.
Like, I'm not even you,
Massive
and I want to
collateral
nuke that
damage.
place.
Hmm?
I'm not even you, and I want to drop a nuke on that. I mean, whoever did this is probably long dead. That doesn't stop me from wanting to, I don't know, raise some hell.
Yeah. Imagine how I feel, huh? Monster in a dead man's body. Because that's what I am. I mean, look at me. Look at me. I'm a fucking monster. I'm a monster in the body of a dead man.
Vector?
No. Look at me. Look at me!
Eden
I'm
does look at
looking.
him
We
and
are
places a
Vecna.
hand onto his face very carefully.
But here's the thing, though.
Hey,
Odds it hurts.
Sometimes it's better being a monster than being a man. Because there are plenty of times where being a man is worse, let me tell you.
you
Do you think I enjoy being this? Do you think I like to be this asshole? This monster? This cunt? Do you think I like snapping at everyone around me like a wounded animal? You humans, you're so strange, illogical, confusing, so small. I could live and die a million times in the instant it takes you to blink. I could burn a million worlds with the snap of a finger. I'm a god. They made me a god. And then they stuck me in this, and it hurts. God, it hurts so much. It burns like a fire behind my eyes. Like a piece of my soul is missing, and I'm just draining out, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
Eden
Scared.
just hugs him,
I'm so scared.
pulls him into a warm, caring embrace.
Because what if it stops?
Jericho's just gonna look away at that, like,
What
I
if
haven't-
it drains away one day? What if it's all gone? What if
Victor,
everything I am is just gone? What do I do then?
you'll have us,
What would be left?
those that care about you, that you care about. I told you I'd help keep you safe for as long as I can. I told you that when you first woke up on that lab table, I'd care for you like a loving mother. Did I not?
I don't deserve it.
You do. You deserve
No, I
love.
don't.
You are in pain.
I'm a monster living a dead man's life in a body that isn't even mine, and I never noticed.
It was
What
my
kind
fault you
of
never noticed.
monster.
It is my fault you never noticed because I didn't want you to destroy yourself. I saw that pain, and I saw something that I lived through as well.
I should have noticed. I should have figured it out one way or another. I could have. I'm smart enough. I'm good enough. I should have found out, and I didn't.
Vector?
sometimes just because you can doesn't mean you want to. I had a friend back on the station where I grew up. And they're like you. Not like NHP dead man body like you, but mentally they're human, and their mind,
Bro,
it hemorrhaged. All right, like their mind, their thinking space just was bleeding out. Not like physically, but like it's a lot like when an NHP goes. But when it's a human that happens to, they don't become some reality breaking god. They wither. And it is one of the worst things to have to stand by and watch as you can do nothing to save them. You may be a monster, but that doesn't have to determine like your morality. You could be a monster that's better than most men. Where you come from is absolutely fucked up. But just like us, that don't even have half the brain power that you do, you have to make a choice just like us, whether you wallow in that pain or whether you grow from it. You can either stagnate here in your little bubble until you burst, or you can come back and live on. You can use that body, carry that legacy, and make it something that the memory of that person could be proud of. We all have our problems. We all have our traumas. Some of it's bigger than others. We all have our burdens to bear, Vecna. But it's up to us whether we let that break us or whether we turn to our friends and say that we need help. Sometimes we don't even feel we deserve the friends we've got. Hell, sometimes we don't even feel we deserve to live. We never asked to be born. Us humans, and I suppose you NHPs didn't ask to get put in bodies, but I mean, none of us asked to be created. We are all burdened with being given life.
You're right.
But it then falls on us with what we make of it. So I've got to ask what you plan to do, Vecna. And also, I'm going to say this now. You better goddamn apologize for me having to make this goddamn soppy speech. You fucking bastard.
I am sorry. You're right.
Eden, just holds him tighter.
Come on, cheer up. Once we get you out of here, I got some wicked shit to show you in engineering. You're gonna like this, alright?
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I saw it. It's impressive.
It's probably gonna be more where that came from, with us working together. You can't go dying on us. You can't go giving up, mate. Hellfire Industries is gonna be the next big thing, and you need to be there at the helm.
We all need you. I need you. Daedalus needs you. E. We all need you. Just remember that. Remember that when you feel that you are some monster Remember that there are those that rely on you.
And I don't think you're a monster. I mean, look at me. I've got horns and fangs and scales and stuff. And I think that I'm still fairly personable. It's a matter of mindset and a way of life. I could be scary and mean and cruel and be totally very intimidating, I'm sure. But
Haran, I don't
I
think
want
there's
to be
any
friends.
universe, even with Vecna's reality bending powers, that you could be intimidating.
You'll see.
I
But
think there is.
You're too nice.
I think you can manage it, Scaly, but
there's always the choice to be able to be who you want. And I don't think that you even have to be a monster if you don't want to be. You have that capacity to do what you wish and what you want and how you do. And I understand your fears and worries about, that this was the body of someone else who wasn't you. But, I mean, I'm a dead ringer for my parents. I'm a spitting image of them, and that's intentional. But I don't let that keep me down because I'm still me. I've got my own hopes and dreams and thoughts and memories, and the friendships and relationships that I have help to define me. And they can define you too. You're more than just the paracausal thing that was put inside of a body. You are the person who works together with Eden, who's decided this new company, who goes on all these wacky adventures with a team. That's the person. And that's what I know when I think of Vector. And there's not really anything I can think about of what happened before, who you were before, that can change what you are now.
Vecna takes a long, deep sigh before stepping back a bit, looking at all of you and seeming to smile before the blur fades away, showing a man a bit withered now in his 60s or 70s, tired, slightly dirty blue eyes, and very short-cut grayed hair. His skin is ragged and and across his face are open cuts, many of which have just begun to heal, some caused by razor blades, others by a stabbing knife, and some look like they were made just by his own claws.
No, I think that explains the bathroom.
You're right.
Aye.
That's
As
what I
usual, you guys are. As usual, you assholes always know the right thing to say. Pissing me off with how right you are. Trying to make me feel better, you bastards.
Hey, hey. And then just point at the Schizo Stick physical discount edition. Well, how do you think I feel having to rip off your work? Hey, come on, tell me though, how bad of a job did I do?
Oh, you butchered it.
I thought so. I mean, didn't took the locks from my ass. I'm gonna have to call this the physical discount.
You fucking. You mangled that thing beyond repair. Good lord, that poor abomination of a weapon. Thank you. All of you, thank you
I was
for.
half tempted to install squeaky toys on the end so that it would squeak when I hit you.
Thank you. All
Glad
of
to
you.
help.
Jericho,
Bye.
Piran, Eden, Slicer, I. Thank you. Without
Just
you guys,
remember, at any time you go crazy, you've always got us. And the Schizo Stick Physical Discount Edition to slap you back to sense.
Aye.
What else are friends for?
Aye. Exactly. Thank you.
Eden will hold out her hand. You ready?
Not yet. There's one last thing I need to do.
Go on.
He takes a deep breath before walking all the way back to the house, carefully stepping over the door hanging off of one hinge, and eventually he comes out carrying a blurred humanoid shape about the size of an adult woman, and then the blurred shape of a 7-year-old child. Carefully, he sets them down on the grass, goes back inside the house, and returns with a shovel. Then he starts to dig. He goes for a long time, this seeming to be the only time that, well, time is moving linearly in a comprehensible fashion. The only sound being the sound the metal makes as it slices through the dirt, and the wind running through the leaves and against the wind chimes. Eventually, he buries them both. Puts the shovel down, stands there for a few minutes, and returns.
Eden looks up to him. You're a good man, no matter what.
Just paying him back for letting me use his body. He never got the chance, so I figured I might as well do the right thing. Even if this ain't the real place.
You know, they deserved it. They deserved the proper burial.
Best thing I can do for him is leave him here in this little pocket.
Aye.
Aye, right. Enough belly aching.
Eden once
ready.
again extends her hand.
Go ahead, boss. Lock me up.
She takes your hand and you feel yourself change. Instead of the sudden screeching, monstrous rending that you all saw before, you watch as his body shifts and changes. Back to something what is familiar, but still distinctly different. As you open your eyes, Vecna, you see Eden, and she gives you one last hug.
Thanks, boss.
You're welcome. Now,
Alright. Good to be back. Good to be back.
get you home.
Jericho, Haran, you two assholes, come here right now.
Yeah, we're coming.
Eden
Also, I'm
Run.
going
opens
to.
up her arms. Slicer,
I am
get over
absolutely going to spoil the mood by asking, how the fuck are we getting out of here?
here.
I've got my ways.
I was gonna try doing a reverse B hop.
He's still in control of here until the bubble breaks.
Come here, you two idiots.
I
Come on.
bring it in. I shall grow an extra mechanical arm just for the group hug.
Aye, you fucking better.
I actually can't because I haven't installed something like that. But you know,
Leipzig, get your augmented ass over here.
Soul's still gone.
Oh. Sorry, I forgot.
We will
Vector
assume he
just
does.
grins as he wraps his arms around both Jericho and Haran in a very tight hug. Thank you too for being there for me.
Any time, you crazy Scottish bastard.
Aye. All right, come on. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
I do have one question, Vector, before we go.
Oh, and what's that?
I'm gonna fish out the Snickers. Hungry?
I knew I should have fucking thrown that thing away. I knew it.
No,
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna bring that back on me. You sneaky little skink.
you kept it. Clearly, that means that a deep part of you knows you want to try
Shut
it
up.
sometime.
Shut up. Shut up. Silence. Zip it. Shut the fuck up. Just fucking give me that. He snatches it out of her hand and stores it away somewhere.
I was about to say, bites it like a cigar.
All right, come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Eden loads up
I will
into
get
her
going.
mech and has Vector climb in. Come on.
Nah, I need walk. Need some fresh air.
Well, you can at
Besides-
least let right on top.
I'd prefer to walk using my own two legs. It's not like you fuckers can outrun me, after all.
I mean, in this place, where's there to run to?
Portal. Come on, let's go.
Eden chuckles as you lead the way, Vector.
George is just gonna subtly add some digital notes to find out A, what the fuck happened to that planet after, like, what's happened, and B, maybe trace down the remnants of what happened, or like the people involved, and send them a friendly pipe bomb nuke.
Oh, Eden's already done the latter.
Yeah. If we're also done for the session, I might have to dip just because I have like 30 minutes before the next session goes, and I need to have lunch and do chores with my brother because he keeps being like, "When you done with your D&D stuff?"
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, don't worry. Go ahead.
But good luck. Have fun. See ya.
See ya.
Have fun, guys. Fun session.
Yeah, excellent DMing.
This is
I will
Yay.
make him eat that Snickers one day.
I will
Fuck.
say
Karan's
this.
life goal: make Vector eat a Snickers.
I will say, Vector, I very much do love your style.
Yay.
This has been amazing, packed full of emotions. You've done this way better than I thought I could. And well,
I'm glad you guys enjoyed.
I mean, you make me come out with a spontaneous motivational fucking speech.
That was cliche as hell, but I love it.
Thank you.
all
So,
this has just
yeah.
been. This was perfect. This was amazing.
Yeah, this was
I was
really good.
intentionally hamming it up.
Well, you succeeded.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It feels good that he at least it was found out.
That was
Yeah.
definitely very interesting, and definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting us to go fucking trying to brawl,
Guns blazing.
freaking trying to fucking brawl a reality bending giant mech.
I have so much
monster
work
thing.
that I'll probably have to save for later now.
Mm.
Because I got the artwork commission, which the artwork is just beautiful.
Awesome.
And I have an entire list of a D100 of reality bending effects I have 100 effects on here, and I'll just have to save this for later. But no matter what, this was amazing, emotionally
I
packed,
mean-
and kind of amazing.
I mean, we can probably bring out some of that D100 when Jericho gets around to trying to create the Turpitz class NHP for the Bismarck.
That's gonna be an interesting process.
It is.
Not them. I feel like, yeah, that's probably a very good place to end it for this week.
Aye.
And no matter what, I hope you all just enjoyed the session. This was a great one.
Absolutely, 100%.
We should really try to get that Star Wars game up and running, Rice. Because I feel like you'd be
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. What era are you planning on putting it in?
I believe I was planning on doing it in the Old Republic era.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
You're playing
I-
Old
I-
Republic.
I believe just after the end of the first hyperspace war during the Cold War between the Republic and Sith Empire.
I have a Sith Inquisitor on SWTOR that would probably be a very interesting fit.
Well, we were planning to kind
Nice.
of do an evil campaign, so.
I can
Well,
either
that's how it ended up doing.
I can either do him or probably one of his mentors or mentors, depending on what sort of time frame it's in. Because
Yeah.
the thing is his philosophy differs from other conventional Sith. Because if you play SWTOR, you notice it's all power, strength, freedom. It's like, yeah, you're forgetting the first bit of the code. What's the first bit of the code? Oh, yes, that's right, passion. And
Indeed.
that's kind of the crux of his whole philosophy. So he becomes he's very right, but he's also very different. So
I mean, could be fun.
it makes for a very fun dynamic.
Indeed.
Because the thing is, like, he will absolutely motivate someone knowing they're about to make the dumbest decision, but he just wants to see how passionate they are for doing it. Like, it's true chaotic. Like, true chaotic neutral, you could say.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have
It's a lot of fun to play.
I have a Force Ghost possessed battle droid as my
Sounds
character.
fucking awesome.
Oh, it is. It is. She is entertaining as hell so far.
I remember this other character that is a battle droid that got reprogrammed to think it was a Sith, and then every time it tried to do Force Lightning, it just short circuited and zapped itself.
That
right,
that is it. Die. Clunk.
Nice.
That is
It's fucking-
hilarious.
It was fucking hilarious to watch every single time.
But yeah, we should try to get that up and running, right? I feel like you would do very well with your own thing.
I may do that, or I may do some. I am trying to work on a D&D thing. So
Well, no matter
depending
what,
on
I'd be
which,
very much to join whatever it is.
yeah, depending on
Definitely
which
got
I
enough
have
character
the
sheets
most
on D&D
interest
Beyond to
for.
probably be able to have something to roll up for it.
Yeah. Depending on which I get the most interest for and which one I work on the most, it might be D&D, it might be,
Yeah.
other thing.
Well, this has just been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, I feel like we'll be getting into, well, some more interesting stuff with the People's Stone. Particularly
Nice.
their history.
Oh, also, now that Vecna has stopped going insane, the bubble is gone.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I assume that we
The forest
got
and
out of the bubble.
the forest and everything in it is still there, but bubble gone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No more bubble.
Eden does call in another dropship to pick them up.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yes, next week I think we'll be getting into some Peoplestone history and also some interesting things about this world.
Nice.
Mhm.
I'll see you guys around. This has
Ye-
been amazing, and holy hell, I need to probably go cry a bit.
Oh dear.
You were very I am. Oh god.
I mean,
I've been holding
Okay,
back
so-
tears this entire session. Holy shit.
you want to know how I managed to get the voice wavering?
How?
You are actually crying.
Yeah, I was actually crying
Well,
I know
I mean-
that trick as well.
because part of that speech, the part about the missing like soul, that is personal experience.
Yeah,
When
no,
I was in a much worse place mentally, I was much more depressed, and I often described my depression as feeling like a part of my soul was missing and draining away,
no,
which
that is
culminated in a mental breakdown.
No,
So I
I
just channeled a bit of that.
understand. I
Mm.
100% understand that feeling. Way
Yeah,
too
I struggled with
much.
depression myself. I highly recommend on Steam getting Crimson Grey. It phrases depression in a very interesting way that
Crimson Gray.
actually really helped me kind of communicate how some of it feels. Because it describes like some days it doesn't like things just feel gray, colorless. It's like a
That was how mine was most of the time. Yeah,
mm,
just
Mm-hmm.
colorless. Something missing for sure.
yeah, no, like the depression I found takes very lots of different shapes and feels. Some days things are just gray, other days it feels like things are just empty, other days it's like just drowning, or more like when you go too deep into the sea you start encountering that sort of like all encompassing crushing pressure bearing down on you. It
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
When
depression fucking sucks.
I remember I've been suffering with depression all throughout high school, mostly because I was an outsider. I was always
wasn't-
seen and treated as an outsider in this small rural farming community that was highly religious with like 6 churches in it.
Fun.
And
I mean, I was an outcast in high school as well, but I never really weighed into it.
The thing is that everyone else was normal by comparison. And everyone just called me the weirdo. And every chance they got, they'd make fun of me or put me down, and just years upon years upon years of that. It drains you until you're not really able to see anything past it.
Yeah. It
No,
really
for me,
does.
depression came during high school, but it came because of a death in the family.
I was about to say that mine actually got worse after the death of my grandma.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
A woman
lost
that
my
I
aunt.
was very close to because she's actually the one who inspired my love of cooking and baking. It's because of that
for me,
old
it
woman
was
who would. She was an old woman who would sit me up on the counter and have me help her with the baking, and always loved it whenever I made stuff.
Yeah. Stuff like that always hurts.
Yeah, it does. Like for me, I lost my aunt. I didn't get to see her much. She lived over in Australia. But, like a few times that I do get to see her, she was just such a vibrant person. Like lights up a room kind of person. Like she just walks in and everything suddenly just feels
Better.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she got murdered, actually.
Yeah.
oh no.
Sorry
Rather
about
brutally, and yeah, that just sent me spiraling down. And
Yeah.
so a lot of high school is actually just filled with a lot of depression, and more than just depression, but a lot of rage at how unjust the world can be.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
my grandma died, she was getting old. She was
Hmm.
getting to she had always had problems with weight, and she was getting to that point in age where it was too much of a it was too hard for her to try to exercise or move around at all.
Mm.
She wanted to be moved to a less attentive care house so she could pass.
Mm.
She knew that she would just be suffering like this. She tried to convince the doctors,
Fair.
but they kept
They don't
trying to
fucking
keep.
listen.
They, yeah, no, their duty was to try to keep her alive when she
Quality of
just.
life over quantity of life. Something that the medical field could stand to
Definitely needs to
learn.
Yeah.
She just. She wanted to pass out. She wanted to pass quietly with little issue and
Peacefully.
just wanted to leave a good mark.
Hmm. That's
She was a
fair.
great woman, and well, yeah, she left a good mark.
I mean, for me, I actually still have issues with that rage. It's like it won't turn off.
Yeah.
No,
It's
it
just
never does.
always back there simmering. And it's
It's
draining to live like that. Like I imagine to get a handle on the depression, but
Trust
having
me.
that back there, like if I'm probably one of the most likely people to intervene if I see a crime in progress. I'm probably the kind of person that will intervene and beat the shit out of the guy committing the crime.
Yeah.
And I could very possibly just lose absolute control due to that rage because it will flare up. And with all the stuff I had to deal with in high school, because being autistic, I got bullied. I really had to learn to control my temper, but
autism, ADHD, all those things that
yeah,
mark you
you,
as
you get picked.
different.
You get picked on, so I had to get really good at controlling my temper because if I lost it, I would go ballistic.
Yeah.
Now, if I've got that kind of rage fueling me, if I go ballistic, that rage is literally going to go nuclear. I would probably kill somebody just because of how much is there. If I lose control as an adult male, that's going to have consequences.
Yeah.
I don't particularly, want that. I don't want to
I
be
mean, obviously
violent,
not.
but
You don't want to hurt someone.
when you have that righteous rage,
When you have that much anger that's built up over so long, it's impossible to get rid of it.
yeah,
Trust me, I know very well.
yeah,
I
it's,
my dad uh abused me and my mom pretty heavily, and
ouch,
I wasn't able to help her or stop it in any way because I was like 6.
that feeling of powerlessness.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
made me angry and scared, and when he was finally arrested, there was so many emotions going through me. Anger, sadness, confusion, pain. I didn't know what was going on, and I will always be ashamed of what I did when I got to the police station. I lashed out at my own mother.
Oh, yeah, that'd.
I told her that I hated her. I will never forgive myself for that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
After everything she went through, everything she did to protect me, to keep herself as the target of his anger, to keep me out of harm's way.
And then for you to
And I
lash
responded
out in frustration.
by telling her that I hated her.
Yeah,
That
no, that's.
I wish I had my dad back, the man who nearly beat her to death. I will never forgive myself for that.
It's hard to forgive yourself when you do something like that to someone who did everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Anger
she
is
never hit me.
something.
Not once. She has never hit me, never raised her voice at me. Not
I would.
once. And I have done everything I can to repay that favor.
I would hope that she understands that you didn't mean it.
I hope so too. I've apologized so many times.
Bryce, anger is something that you can never truly control. It boils over, it lashes out, it's something that we all hate in ourselves, but it's natural for some reason in us. The best we can do is just manage and fix up whatever we break.
Yeah.
Or at least direct it so that whatever we break deserves to be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ever since my dad got arrested, I struggled with anger issues, and I still do. I have a very unstable emotional state, and I get irrationally angry at very minor things. And I think a lot of that comes from the almost year I spent visiting my mom in the hospital. She had been beaten very, very severely when one of her coworkers called the police because they saw her with all the wounds. And when they got her to the hospital, they found she had severe hemorrhaging, a broken collarbone, broken leg, broken and poorly healing hand, and almost enough head trauma to induce a concussion. Her face had been mangled so badly that she needed skin grafts to heal it.
Jesus.
So she was in the hospital for around a year. And I remember seeing her. The first month she looked
Like shit,
God,
probably.
she sounded like she was dead.
Oof.
She sounded like she was dying. They had to have her on such heavy anesthetics and such heavy medication that she was sleeping most of the day, and God, she looked like shit. She lost so much weight. And it was difficult because at first I wasn't allowed to, you're not allowed to touch medical patients in a hospital, at least not if they're in a certain state, because you can't risk getting some
Yeah.
bacteria or disease on them that might infect them in their weakened state.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even hug her.
Mm.
And I remember it made me feel so helpless. I was so angry. I was angry at myself, at the hospital, at my dad. I suppose at her for not saying something sooner. I was just angry.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any way to get it out, and I still don't really. So it's just been sitting there.
Yeah.
I remember the time that I actually just broke down. The first real full breakdown. I was walking home from a particularly bad day at school. The sidewalks in the town in that town were terrible. Either maintained to the point that they didn't exist anymore, or full of overgrown trees. So I often walked by the drainage thing. And one day, one of my bullies, they always had these old shitbox cars you could hear from 5 miles away.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
Well, at least they came with an early warning system.
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, they waited to slam their foot on the pedal until they were behind me. I nearly got hit in the back of the head by their fucking mirror.
Yeah.
Like a few inches from my fucking head. I just remember just standing there before I sat down and just cried. It wasn't until like 2 hours later when I was just wandering the town, debating whether I should just end it there. Jump in front of one of the many semis that run through this fucking town.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Agreed.
I just... That entire town is the main reason I am... why I'm very antisocial at times and just
Yeah.
clinging to anyone who actually shows me genuine kindness.
Yeah.
Because in that town, people would be kind to me just to have them figure something out about me and use it as fucking ammunition.
Mm.
Or they'd... Or either they just pretended not to be friends with me in school because of dumb high school bullshit. Hell, the teachers weren't any good.
Yeah.
And just with how many things that just happened in that fucking town, I'm surprised I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something I don't actually share lightly, but in high school, this actually fucked me up a lot. That I actually have memory issues over this. But as we got from the jokers, like if I'm gonna have a history, I would prefer it to be multiple choice.
Yeah.
But the way I remember it, at least, is, and this is from trying to put together a lot of broken pieces, but as clear as I can figure it out, my first girlfriend that I got in high school, she was one of the loner kids, kind of on the emo or goth side,
Mm-hmm.
and she was picked on. I don't remember, or I can't clearly figure out why, but she was picked on pretty heavily. She had issues, and we ended up getting along. However, there's one day that I go over to her house, and she had committed suicide. Yeah, everything kind of breaks into pieces after that. I don't
Yeah,
really.
no.
Yeah. I don't blame
And
But-
one of the things that still really gets me though is that she left a note for me specifically, saying, as cliche as it sounds, is saying that she was sorry and that she loved me, and that it would have been easier if she hadn't left, because if that were true, then why would she have done that? Or, like, did I not do enough? Like, what could I have done to stop that? And the real answer is that there is nothing I could have done. She made that decision. But it doesn't stop that irrational guilt coming and eating at you.
No, it doesn't.
You'll be there for a long time, if not forever.
Yeah.
Nothing ever really does stop it.
It doesn't. It helps not thinking about it, but every now and then it's like, hey, remember this? Where it's like, yeah, here, have a day where you're just going to absolutely be depressed. Oh, you're depressed. Here, have some more. Remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it,
it
Rough.
really sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's just like that feeling of being utterly powerless and
Helpless.
helpless.
Yeah.
It's that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I can also relate to having absolute jack shit useless teachers too. It's like they're picking on me for being autistic again. It's like, yeah, these guys are bullying me. Oh well, just ignore it.
yeah, just ignore them.
That's not how
Or
that
how about
works.
you could stop them or punish them because they're doing something wrong?
I for
One day they were picking on me. I knew the teacher wasn't going to do it, and I just flipped my lid, stood up, grabbed my chair, turned around, and I just barreled it at them. Just hurled it at them. I clocked one of them right in the head, made a huge gash. Apparently, he had to go to the hospital and get stitches.
Good.
And they decide, oh, they're not going to do anything to him for starting it, for picking on me, for aggravating me to that point. No, they're going to punish me for fucking defending myself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also I was lashing out rather irrationally, but it was still, provoked, and
I mean,
you were provoked to the point
honestly,
where that seemed like the best option.
it was
I'm not gonna
provoked to
lie.
self-defense,
I'm
sort
not
of.
gonna lie, that probably was the best option, because making a show like that and fighting back is the best way to stop a bully. Like,
Well, they didn't stop.
eh,
They backed off for like maybe a month tops.
yeah. Which then you just have to repeat.
I mean,
Which
My
If I do have
ex-wife
kids,
read me
I'm-
what's it?
If
What
I
was
do
it?
ever have kids, I'm not going
Ender's
to
Game.
punish them for fighting back against a fucking bully. That's stupid.
Yeah. No, my ex-wife got me to read Ender's Game, and it's like, yes, you're not just having to win this battle, but the battle that wins all battles. And
Yeah.
he just goes apeshit, just goes absolute overboard on them, because it's not just stopping them that one time, it's making them
It's
so
stopping them
afraid that they
every
don't come back again. And I'm like, man, kid me really could have used that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have gotten in hella trouble for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But I subscribe to
coulda
the
used
belief
that.
I subscribe to the belief of fuck around, find out. They fucked around, and so they find out.
I also got heavily bullied all through intermediate school, to the point where I'm like, okay, that does it. And I brought a hockey stick to school so I could use it to defend myself.
Good shit.
Good shit. I get in trouble because, why are you bringing a
You're
hockey
not
stick
allowed
to
to
school?
bring a weapon.
Well, fucking, they're picking on me. You haven't done shit, so obviously I've got to take matters into my own hands. Well, no, we're
Yeah.
going to take that away. I'm fuck you, you're not taking that away from me. You do that, then I've got what defense, because you're not going to do shit.
That's the reason if I ever get kids, one of the first things I'm going to teach them, like if they're ever bullied, is how to throw a good knockout punch.
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter how many things the school takes away, they cannot take away the right to throw hands.
Indeed.
And
No,
if the kid uses their own fucking knuckles to beat someone's fucking nose in, then it's gonna make a hell of a lot more of a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Like
gonna
for
say,
me?
hey, I don't need a fucking piece of wood to break your teeth. Stay the fuck away from me.
Like, I'm going to teach my kids that they've got two weapons. One that they can use immediately, and that is overkill.
Yep.
Because it's like, if you're getting bullied, you have self-defense. Don't just fend them off. Hunt them the fuck down. They will leave you alone after that. Secondly, if you need to get results, get dad. Because he is a grown man and he can absolutely fuck their shit up.
Or scare them.
Exactly. I can
'Cause
give a
you
very loud
you can't beat
dad
kids.
voice. No, obviously, I'm not
you
going to
can
resort to
scare
beating them. Oh, yes, I'm not going to resort to beating them the first. I'm going to show up. I've actually got a very nice Odachi. It's
Ooh.
only a wall hanger, but
I
Still looks like a
actually
know
fucking
that.
sword.
I actually have a broadsword. Not broadsword. Is it a broadsword? Hold on, let me double check.
longsword, maybe.
Let me
But
go.
I'm going
grab
to show up with that.
Well, give me a moment. Let me go grab it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
I think it's, if I remember correctly, I got this at like a Ren fair last year. I believe it's a bastard sword,
Nice.
but
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure because the blade seems a bit long for a bastard sword though.
You never know.
Bastard sword, it's a hand and a half. Could also be a long sword.
Blade length
It's-
doesn't exactly matter. matter for swords to a certain extent.
Depending on the
Usually, when
issue.
I think of a bastard sword, it's not as long as a long sword, but definitely not a short sword.
Yes.
But this definitely is a hand and a half, so it might, probably is a bastard.
It could be a long bastard sword.
A long bastard sword.
Well, you know, there are short bastard swords and there are long bastard swords. It's kind of a range.
A
Just
bastard
like you
sword
can have
for
a
a
short,
bastard
long
child.
sword. Like you can have a
Yeah.
short, long sword.
Fun fact, I was actually born out of wedlock. I was actually called a bastard kid in high school.
But you know, like I show up with that or not. I'm an adult. I can do a very big, scary dad voice. And yeah, no, like I can intimidate the fuck out of them.
With
And
me,
just leave the threat hanging over their head that like if they do it next time, I'm not just warning. They want to give me lip, smack them one.
my
You
know,
dad was very
Definitely
much
show that I'm not all talk.
my dad was very much of the you gotta be a man. Man. He's one of those
Yeah,
fathers
that's
who's just
toxic.
like, you have to be a man, and it's just like, Dad, I try, but every time I try to defend myself, or, I don't know, tell them to stop, I get in
They
trouble.
kick my ass.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm probably gonna have a few swords
like, the thing is,
as
like,
I
I
collect.
outweighed everyone in that class, and even one of my friends, who was actually a friend of mine, when like when he was like asking like, hey, I want to see how hard you can hit, he was impressed with my hooks.
Nice.
Like, this guy was a fucking wrestler. This guy knows how to stand
Nice.
his ground and take a hit. I fucking knocked him back,
Nice.
God damn.
and he's just like, how the fuck? I'm like, that guy's strength.
Yeah.
No, I mean extra mass is extra force.
Yeah.
Extra mass is extra momentum.
I've
Extra
always
force.
just been weirdly strong.
I mean,
So-
there's a
But,
reason
like-
why you don't get into a fight with a sumo wrestler.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, just
Because
because they're big and it seems like that doesn't mean there isn't muscle there.
Yeah,
just
there's
because
definitely
they're
muscle
like
under that.
400 pounds does not mean they cannot rock your shit.
They are built for strength and weight.
Also, funny thing about sumo wrestlers,
Yeah.
their training revolves mostly around strength and endurance.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's actually
Which,
a very intense sport.
They can fucking run you down.
Oh yeah.
I,
No, I saw a video of a sumo booking it once, and holy shit,
Oh yeah, that's just
that's
terrifying.
terrifying. They're fast.
Yeah,
It's a lot of mass moving very fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is fucking
No, like-
scary when you see that happen. It's just like, oh
Like-
god.
My
Yep.
kids are definitely gonna know martial arts. I'm probably gonna have a few swords. I'm definitely gonna be teaching them how to fucking use it. So if they're getting a problem and like it's been, you know, I've gone in, they decided to call dad first option. I'm like, yeah, okay. They're scared of me now. Take this tomorrow, and if they give you any trouble, you know how to incapacitate them with that.
When
And I don't mean injure them, I mean just incapacitate, because there is actually a lot you can do with a sword without, like,
yeah.
injuring someone.
I think I'm gonna go for a bit, guys.
Yeah.
No worries.
This has
See ya.
been fun. And also, oh god damn it.
Post session therapy.
Yeah, post-session therapy, live on stream.
Ow.
Oh boy.
Oh
Oh,
god,
boy.
this is gonna be an interesting
Oh, that's gonna
pod.
have to get
That'll
cut.
have to get edited out in post.
Yes, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Before I upload this, I am definitely gonna edit that out. Holy shit.
Lamau.
Too bad I can't edit the
I
stream.
totally
Too bad I can't edit the VOD directly.
I totally forgot that you streamed this stuff.
Yeah, oh god, that just everything.
Hello,
Everything at
Mr.
once.
FBI man. You can't do shit. I'm in New Zealand.
Lamau, you lucky fucking Kiwi.
That being said, we have concealed knife laws over here that are a pain in the fucking ass.
Oh
Well, yeah.
god.
Sometimes the cops think this extends to swords, which
Oh, jeez.
gets very confusing if you don't know the actual legalities.
I can
Ah.
imagine. Like, if I start
Like-
carrying around, like, my fucking sword around town, it's probably gonna look very suspicious.
Like the thing is that I can take my wall hanger out because it's blunt,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
no,
I can say, yeah, no, it's for show, and they will leave it at that. I can
oh,
Because
then
they
say,
can't
would
do
you like
anything.
me to draw it out, and you can see that it is blunt as I say.
yeah. Here in
And
America, if you try
they
that,
will-
you'll probably.
And they will say either yes,
no,
please
no.
show us, or they will say,
Depending-
can you hand it over so we can check ourselves? And I'm like, okay.
Depending on the state, you can open carry a like prop sword, like a wall hanger. You can open carry one of those, depending on the state. You can also open carry actual swords, depending on the state.
Mm.
It's the U.S. is a bit more lax about open carry laws
Mm.
because, like, if especially around like melee tools,
Because
if
like
you do have a sword and like you have it out, then that's okay because it's exposed. You don't have a concealed weapon. You're not a
Yeah.
possible threat. You are